Hello and welcome to the award-winning podcast, the Computer Game Show. That's right, we're award winners. We've won an independent podcast award. Thank you so much for all the support over the years to get us to this point. Honestly, the award means so much to us and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Right, okay, Matt, I'm going to do that again. If you could just edit the correct one in.
Yeah, sure.
Because we're recording
cool.
Sunday. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. Fuck awards, they're for fucking... That's what they are. They're shit. They're for
embarrassing.
Actual fucking pricks.
Ooh,
I hate them.
Some people actually put themselves forward for these things. That's the most embarrassing part, isn't it?
It's really pathetic. It's really pathetic.
I mean, you don't really need the validation, do you? You don't need the validation.
I don't. No, all the validation I need is from you, James. And also, that place stank and it was horrible. We were treated like shit. Yeah. And we walked in and they went, "Oh, give us a tenner and we'll let you win." We went, "No, we've got morals. So fuck awards forever." My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Yo.
And you'll remember him from a couple of years ago. It's James Farley.
Hello.
He's back.
Hello. Patreon producers this month, we'd like to give them a huge shout out. The Full Nels crew. Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap. Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights. Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safe As Records, Sam Higton, Tom S, Ryan Cobain, Yul McCule, Stan, Philip with an F, and a returning Full Nels member. And I tell you what, the Full Nels crew all wrote to me and said, "Look, we're not a closed group. Yeah, we're an exclusive group, but we're not a closed one. So if someone leaves us, we're more than happy to welcome them back with open arms." It's Fred Fenge. Welcome back, Fred Fenge, to the Full Nels fold. You can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/TCGS if you like talksovers. We did one of those this week to a very old... Honestly...
That was great.
I hate bigging up the stuff we do on Patreon because it sounds like, do you know what you need? To subscribe. But that talksover we did over the computer game... what was it? The Computer Chronicles.
I don't know what it was called now, but it was a 90s PC show, wasn't it?
It was like a very serious technology PC TV show. And I don't know, we did half have good fun with it. I really enjoyed that. So definitely check that out if you're sub to that tier.
It's the way that the presenter kept on bringing in what were for the time current events into the show at inopportune moments, which were quite funny.
And sort of us watching it now and not knowing if they were making the jokes at a time where maybe it seemed relatively harmless, or were they making the jokes in a way that probably was offensive, but just didn't. But it was the 90s, and people. Do you know what I mean?
It didn't seem like they would ever go for humour. That crew did it. Patreon.com/TCGS for all our bonus content. I said it at the start of the show, but we're recording on a Sunday night because tomorrow night we're all meeting up. We're all meeting up, and I can't wait.
Yeah, mate.
It's the Independent Podcast Awards in King's Cross, and
London, England.
Forgetting the award stuff and all that. The fact that we all get to meet up again tomorrow night is well exciting. James, I mean, you got to fly over.
Yeah,
you're flying over.
I am. Can't wait. Took the day off. It's
It's a bit weird that we're bringing a guest though, isn't it, David?
Yeah, I mean, we really should have invited like Sarah and Ian and Sean the Bode.
Well, James has been on a lot recently. He's probably like one of the most popular guests we've ever had.
Yeah.
You do know that you can't come on stage with us, though, James, if we win.
No. If we win, I'm like, James, hold the camera and just like get us in shot.
Oh my god! If we win, I'm going on stage and pointing him and going, I don't know who this is. And then I'm looking around and seeing it.
But only we do that thing where you say my name and I go, what? Where? Where is he?
Yeah, but the thing is, right? The thing is, all week I've had these little ideas of what we should do if we go on stage. Like, if we win the award, what should we say? What should we do? But you do know there's like that capacity of that theatre is like 450 people, and just walking up there and like just going, oh, look, it's James Farley, and you going, where? But we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
because
thought a lot about
that's
that.
ridiculous.
I do want to do that. I'm going to go, what, where? And do the whole thing.
No, you're not. Yeah, but we're not doing that.
No
and you
one will
wouldn't
think
do
that's
that.
funny. No one will get it.
The thing is, James, when you're sitting in there...
I mean, we'll think it's funny, obviously. But.
This is it. When you're sitting in there, James, with all these people that we don't know, some people taking it way more seriously than we do, you're not even going to want us to win. Because the thought of getting up in front of everyone is going to feel sickening.
Yeah, as the categories get closer, you'll be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no, it's
not an amount of people, because I've often thought, but I thought this week, or in the last few days, what will we say? What could we do? Could we do, like, jokes? But, like, there's no point doing an in-joke, because no one in the audience is going to know or care.
Exactly.
Like, not even even referencing that would be pointless.
Yep. No. We need further talk about this, and thankfully we got some time tomorrow to talk about it. But the one thing that I'm adamant that we should do, if we win, we won't. We're not expected to win.
Chances are very slim.
We take the award down to Timpson's and we ask them to chop it into 4 equal pieces. That is what we should do. And I've mentioned this a couple of times off show, and Matt's the only one that doesn't seem happy about this. And I mentioned it again today, and Matt went, "We'll regret it."
I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't care that much, but I think we will regret it looking back. Like, because we're like,
what if we each got a tattoo of a quarter of it, like on our elbow? And then
I mean, that I'm up for. That'd be good.
I mentioned it to Jo. She went, "Well, you'll have the photos of it when it was together." But the idea, like, otherwise, one person gets it, and like that's worse. We split everything 4 ways. Having a quarter of the award is fucking funny to me. And as Sean mentioned, every time we do a live show, we've got to bring that piece of award to sort of
see that'd be
hold
so
it together,
good.
Like Captain
Imagine
Planet.
we all like come together and like hold it up.
It'd be
amazing.
It worth it for the content, I guess. Worth it for the picture and the video.
That's the only way Matt will get behind it.
Yeah.
There's a content strategy.
I genuinely didn't know Matt cared about awards this much. I didn't know that this was a thing.
It is. There's probably other things where in the past I've done something that's funny at the time. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I hadn't done that.
But the thing is, like, the object itself is not.
Well, no, like my examples mostly originate with like photos. So when I was like at university, I had this like watch where you can like put like a photo in it, and loads of my quite precious pictures of at university, I like cut people's faces out to have like a Liam watch. It doesn't matter. Like pictures of my mates in my watch. Don't worry about that. And now I look back and I'm like, oh man, these photos literally got holes in. That's what I think about.
Okay.
Shame, I
feel like the award itself is not going to be valuable. It's what it represents.
There is a physical award. That's the thing.
Wait, hold on.
It might not be.
Matt, I will just point out to you there, you said you don't give a shit about awards, but you've just compared an award to photos of your friends. Like, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, no, it's just like something I did in the past, which I thought was great at the time. I'm like, I wish I hadn't done that. But it'd be worth it for the
snowboarding.
Content. We don't even know, because that was brilliant. We don't even know if there is a physical award. It might be a PDF.
That's
might
true.
Be a certificate.
I like the fact that that's the main concern, and not the fact that we're probably going to lose, and we're all going to James is going to fly over from Germany for nothing.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because it feels super arrogant, like that we're like thinking through what we're going to do if we win. But that's anxiety talking. That's not like we're not going to win. It's like, but what if we do? Fucking hell!
Yeah, like, what the fuck do we do? Yeah.
We need to prepare for, like, somebody needs to film us when they. Well, we'll have to film each other or something, when they read out the results.
Walking all around with our phones, like...
No. When we sit, if you're sitting at the table and then you're reading out the results.
There's no table.
Sorry, James, have you seen the layout? There is no table. It's a theatre.
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
He was expecting that a 4-course meal.
I've already worked this out. I've already thought about this. Yeah, like I'll sit at the end so we can. I'll record everyone and then we'll get a reaction of us not winning or winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good to do at award shows.
I was picturing like round tables, like sort of around on the.
It's not the Brit Awards.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's literally just a fair. I'm just more looking forward to getting up to London, seeing you all, hanging out. We've got like a hotel booked, so we're all staying overnight. We could stay late. There's an after party. And we're going to record some stuff during that, I'm sure. Anyway, we're 10 minutes in and all we've talked about is ourselves.
Short show.
Let's get to feedback from last week's show. They all love it, did they?
They did. Push Button Joe has messaged, Dear TCGS, good work on pretending that you don't live in fear of David and his reign of terror. We all know that Matt and Sean do all the work, and James has been known to turn up from time to time. It is my belief that the farts and microphone bashing are a secret cry for help. If you deny this, I will know that it is true. Tatty bye.
James?
Yeah, it's not true. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Joe
Okay,
knows
there
now.
we go.
Joe knows.
I don't think I can't think of two people less living in fear of me than Sean and Matt. I don't think they really give a shit. I've got a feeling that when I'm going off on one or whatever, those two look at each other and roll their eyes.
Just let it play out. Just let him finish.
Yeah, just WhatsApp messages like the eye rolling emoji. Like,
it's like the staff at Lionhead during their peak. I'll poke my head in and go, do this, and you go, look, we won't do that. We'll just deal with him later. Don't worry, let's crack on. Yeah, I think you're off the mark there, Push Button Joe. Isn't he, Sean? And if you say no, I'll punch you right on the fucking nose, boy.
Not before the awards, Dave. I'll have a black eye.
Yeah, well, that will be a reason that you won't be going there, wouldn't it, Sean?
Right.
Okay.
How about it, at the awards, if we do win, we go on stage and we have a fake fight? Would that be good?
No, because no one else will know.
It's not going to
Not
happen.
Sacha Baron
That's
Cohen.
not an in-joke, but it would be quite funny.
It's not going to happen. We're not.
If we do,
you guys
let's have a fake fight.
Bottle it when we're there. We're all going to bottle it when we're there. At 100%.
If we go up, let's have a wrestle on stage and pretend we're kicking off.
Why do you always want to do this, Matt? You always want to have a fight on stage. Like you want to do it with John Denton as well. Like what's up with this?
If we were sitting there and another podcast done that, we'd look at it and go, what a bunch of twats. Why can't they just get up and just
something else I think I've said before on
the
bonus show is that I said I used to like tripping over and like embarrassing myself in like public spaces. Maybe I'll do that on stage. Would that be
right,
good?
Okay, I don't want to go with you now, Matt. I just don't want to go with you now. And remember, I've got your ticket. I've got your ticket.
I was looking to say, did I book them? I couldn't find my emails. But
I got the ticket, so you ain't getting shit, boy. Right, okay. Next bit of feedback.
Louis B. It was reassuring.
Can we call this episode "If We Win"?
Well, no, because I'll just change it on Wednesday, saying we won.
Do you know? I just was remembering whether we had tickets or not, and then I realised. Then I panicked for a second. Then I realised, no, I did. You did do that because then I shortchanged you, didn't I? When I was supposed to pay you.
Yeah, that was funny. Right, okay. No, let's not go into that. It's just James asked me how much the tickets were. I told him, and he just sent me for like £3 less. I was like, why have you done?
I don't know why I did that. I don't know why it happened there.
Cheers.
Okay.
£100. Here's 50. Right, okay. Louis B. It was reassuring to hear that the Digital Foundry video on Spider-Man 2's refresh rate was as confusing to you guys as it was to me. I thought I was nerdy enough to understand this stuff, but that video broke me. Generally, I prefer a frame rate over resolution purely because games look clearer in motion. Fidelity modes all look great until you pan the camera around. I still don't really know what ambient occlusion is, but I'm quite old.
Isn't ambient occlusion? No, I'm not even.
No, please do.
Go on, Sean. No,
please do, Sean.
You can't run up to the lake without jumping over it, mate. Go on. What are you saying?
No, I genuinely. It's something to do with light affecting nearby, like things affecting the lighting against other nearby object or something. That's literally all I know about ambient occlusion.
Okay, I'm going to make a suggestion, Sean.
Yep.
For the next big release, I don't know what the next huge release is. Mm-hmm. Can you make a digital Foundry style video for our YouTube channel?
Yeah, but do not go
just zooming in on screen to go, whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the
exactly.
polygons.
We should absolutely do that. Digital, like a breakdown where it's just us going, fucking look at that, mate. Look at that shadow
Spider-Man's
there.
legs.
Hell.
You need to have that thing going on the bottom as well, but it doesn't actually correspond at all to what you're watching.
He looks real.
Is this a photograph? Is it? I don't know.
It's got HDR set, but I can't tell whether it's on or off.
Not allowed to comment on this.
If anyone can tell me what resolution this is, let me know in the chat below. Although saying that, we put out a video this week of me and you pretending to be NPC. Well, it was a clip from the show being an NPC from the Spider-Man stuff. Whenever you do something like that, Sean, people don't like it. There's this one guy on my TikTok that keeps just saying, this isn't real. It's like, all right, but replying to anyone that goes, "Wow, this is fun." No, it's not real. It's not real. They've dubbed it over. How could you think this is real? And I'm like, all right, mate, can you just leave just a bit of fun for just like a day? Really pissing me off. It's just a joke. Okay, all
right. Billiam Oddie OBE. Hi lads, on last week's show, Good Matthew wasn't sure if you were looking for pigeons or doves in Sony's Marvel Spider-Man. I assume he must have taken leave of his senses, as surely he knows well that pigeons and doves are the same species, and that the common pigeon we see in the UK can also be known as the rock dove. How embarrassing. Dude Funky Gibbon, lots of love. Billion Oddle. Or Billion Oddie. It says Oddle, and it doesn't work. Billion Oddle Jr.
I think they're just doing a joke.
It's just a Bill Oddie joke.
It's Bill Oddie, yeah.
It's just Bill Oddie, mate.
It's like, at least, it doesn't matter.
You're right, Matt.
I didn't know that.
Do you know who Bill Oddie is?
Yes, but the bottom says Billion Oddle. It's like, at least be consistent in the joke.
Just having a bit of fun with it.
Too much fun.
I think
that guy in your comments is Matt, Dave. I think that's
too much fun, baby.
It might be. Let's move on.
Yes, Jake Barlow, feedback. Sean nearly made me cry. Do you ever have that thing where all of a sudden you hear something that hits you in the heart out of nowhere? Listen to Sean explain how he decided to play Mario Wonder with his son, letting Isaac lead the way and make mistakes as Mario, while Sean acted as his immortal bodyguard, Yoshi, guiding him when necessary, made me a bit emotional. While this is a very sweet allegory for fatherhood in itself, it instantly brought back a flood of memories of playing Super Mario 64 with my dad, who would take the reins when I got too scared during a Bowser fight and high-fived me every time I grabbed a Power Star. I'm 31 now and lucky enough to still have my dad, and while he has no interest in video games these days, we still reminisce about those days and he still remembers all the music. I don't have kids of my own yet, but this is exactly the sort of dad I want to be when I do. Nice work, Sean. Isaac will remember it for sure. From Jake Barlow.
Oh, thanks, Jake. That was really kind of
you.
What
a lovely message.
Nice.
I mean, I should say, that sort of whole decision and realization about how we play Mario together was born out of a lot of me just being like, for fuck's sake, like, this is not working. But no, it has been a really lovely time, to be fair.
I think it's dreadful. I'm sure we'll talk about it later. I'm so pissed off with that fucking co-op mode. It's just
not perfect.
I didn't think they changed that much from before, when it's always been rubbish in 2D.
Haven't. Yeah, it has always been rubbish in 2D. You're absolutely right. It's just when I listen to other podcasts and they go, the co-op mode, I'm just absolutely loving it. And I'm just like, no, you're not. No one's loving this. No one is. Unless you're like, I don't know, 12. Like, it's dreadful.
It's just kind of mad that they can't get co-op right. You think of all the companies, they would...
Not really.
But how do you do it?
As right as you can. It's just, what do you do?
This can't be the best in class example, though.
Go on.
There has to be a better way than this. It's just not fun, is it?
2D co-op game. What side-scrolling platform?
The only way you could do it is if you split screened it, like when people go off the screen or whatever. But that'd be horrible.
But even then, then you're getting a I don't know.
Yeah, I think playing it in co-op is just fundamentally a different game, isn't it? And if you're not intentionally designing things either around single player or co-op, like entirely one way or the other, you're gonna have problems. But I don't know.
Someone is always going to have a bad time when you're playing in co-op. For when we played it, it was Joe and Charlie, because me and Harry were rushing through the levels, and they were like, "Well, I'm just falling off the screen, and now I'm a bubble ghost."
Yeah.
And if we were to just stop and go slowly, like you said last week, I think, James, where it's like you just didn't run, you just
don't
walked
run
everywhere.
Yeah,
but then you're just like, then you're having a bad time. You're just not running and walking. You just, I don't know, man. Right, okay. Anyway, I didn't mean to shit on what was probably the nicest bit of feedback we've ever had on TCGS. That was not what I was trying to do. That wasn't my aim. I apologise, Jake Barlow, but that was a lovely message.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played games with my dad once. Even having a he did get me. He got us a Commodore 64.
Yeah,
because a mate called Steve, who worked with, had an Amiga, and I don't know, somehow managed to get us a Commodore. But I don't actually remember ever playing with him once.
No, I never did. I never played games with my dad.
My dad was never into it.
He wasn't into it.
When did I mention this? I can't remember. I might have mentioned this because I've been streaming sort of older sort of point and click adventure games and stuff. Did Zork Grand Inquisitor, now doing Starship Titanic. So that was partly out of, I like remembered that we had this phase when we first got a family PC. My dad got like Monkey Island, Myst, Zork, and like a couple of others. And then, like, I've not had this conversation with him, but I think it was very much him being like, oh, now we've got a PC, here are some games that I might like, right? Like, he was actually considering getting into it. But then between me and my brother, he never got 5 minutes on the computer, so he just didn't bother in the end. And it's like, I sort of feel like saying to him, like, is that a thing that we scuppered? Because if you're still interested, there's fucking loads of cool stuff that you would probably enjoy now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's bothered. He's never asked.
Well, I play loads of video games with my dad. Play loads of football games.
Right. Yeah,
play Double Dragon. Halo. We played through the first Halo together. Does not make the relationship better. Does not improve the relationship. Do not speak to him much anymore. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I'd love to have them. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let's move on. It's not an essential part of a relationship with your parent. Next. Is that it?
That's it for feedback, yeah. Submit your feedback if you want to next week at tcgs.co/deartcgs.
Well, then I guess it's time for the news.
Okay, Xbox had a partner preview showcase last week. Now, I've done something very stupid, which was that I've noted down all the stuff there was, and then today I thought I can watch these, and like the trailers for these, and then I'll have some opinions, and then I forgot. So I can go through what we've got.
Hold on, wait. What's the bit that you forgot? Did you forget to write them down?
No, I forgot to watch the trailers. It's
right. Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but just the second thing on the Eurogamer article you've linked to us made my eyes go all big. Have you seen it, Dave?
Can I? No, not yet. I will scroll down a bit. I've not looked at it yet. Can I just ask you, James, why did you bother to tell us that?
Well, no, because I wanted to preempt the fact that I don't know anything about most of these games before we got there.
We come to expect that now. But what does my nut in, right, is that what does my nut in is that people always like saying, "Oh, stop having a go at him, stop having a go at him." But what you've just done is say, "I thought about putting some effort in this week, lads, and then I just didn't." Like, that's what you've done.
It's because I forgot. I've run out of time.
Okay.
I was playing Spider-Man 2.
But James, which one? Did you run out of time or did you forget? Which one was it?
Oh, that's true.
It's a bit of both.
You ran out of time to remember. That's the.
I didn't set a reminder on my phone, so I forgot.
Okay, let's go through what they've announced then. So I've still not scrolled down, Sean. Should I do it?
Yeah. So
the second thing,
yeah,
and it's exciting, is it?
For us, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I have seen this. Oh, yeah, but I don't know what the game is. So,
I was going to say, I haven't seen the trailer either, but tell us what the news is.
Yeah, we should probably actually say what it is. So, Future
Matt,
Lab,
we're just having a bit of fun, Matt.
But you're talking about a game that James hasn't even talked about. Saying, I haven't seen that. I have.
Suddenly, Sean's just taking it over, and he's now
gone. Just filling the gap.
Yeah, well, he's putting some effort in.
Go on, James.
So, should we just go straight there then? Because this is a game that's coming from Future Lab, which is Icaro Will Not Die, which is apparently a successor to the Velocity series that they worked on before. So this is from the Power Wash Simulator.
So this is Power Sim devs who also previously made Velocity, which is a short series of very, very fucking good 2D shooters. Oh
my God, I didn't even work out. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, we mentioned it on the show when you first started talking about Power Wash Sim. We mentioned it then.
Oh, right.
But I mean, I can see why you wouldn't remember that link because it's
you'd
weird.
Forget. Yeah, I should have put a reminder on my phone, James? This is a 3D. So this is a successor to those games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but it doesn't look like those games in any real way.
I'm terrified if I click on it, it'll start playing the trailer.
It looks more like it's focused on the 3D stuff because that was a spaceship game. Where you had occasional moments where you're out of the spaceship.
That's right. Yeah.
This looks like a straight up 3D action game.
Okay.
So I've got high hopes for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible that this is going to be brilliant. But who knows? Who knows? They've certainly got the budget for it now. I think
that's what's interesting.
As far as I'm aware, Power Wash has been a huge success. And they're kicking out DLC for it, so it must still be making tons of money.
And the VR version is popular as well.
Was that out now?
So he's not out until December, but like I've heard,
okay.
Things.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, Ian sent me a text saying, "Are you interested in it?" And I was like, "Not really." Like, what I like about Power Wash is sticking my headphones on like to a podcast or some music or whatever, and putting my feet up and then cleaning one of those levels. I don't really feel the need to put a headphone on and do that, like move my arms up and down. I don't. That's not what I get out of Power Wash.
Yeah.
So.
I was at an event in London. I had it there, and I was really desperate to play it because it looks really, really good. But I was like, far too busy. But people on that thing all night, so
cool.
I've got high hopes.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Right,
James. You haven't done much research. You've heard about this Like a Dragon thing, though, right?
Well, that's what I was just about to come to, Matt, for the next one. But yeah, it's so this is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is the sequel to Like a Dragon, which came out not so long ago, which is another turn-based Yakuza game, but it's set in Hawaii this time, which is, I don't know, it's apparently a load of gangsters have like retired there or something, and that's what's going on.
I think it's important to note that the opening to the trailer shows your character arriving at Hawaii Beach on a dolphin, on the back of a dolphin. So it's going to be wacky.
It is going to
be wild, guys.
Well, because the previous trailer showed him waking up on the beach in the nude, right?
Yeah,
But
well,
naked,
so
wasn't it?
yeah.
And apparently you get to manage an island in a kind of Animal Crossing way as well. So I don't know.
That does sound quite good. I really can't be asked with one of these with the turn-based combat, though.
That's the problem, because you see, Like a Dragon was fine. It was okay, but I went through that sort of despite the turn-based nature of it rather than because of it, because it was it was a bit.
So that's interesting, because you were a big fan of Baldur's Gate, Sean, right? So what is it about that turn-based gameplay?
Because basically the Like a Dragon turn-based stuff is like it's JRPG turn-based, which I'm less fussed about. I enjoy turn-based stuff where it's about positioning and stuff. For some reason, that's
is that what Baldur's Gate is? It's more like say like a brief Advance Wars rather than
more than
Final Fantasy.
More than, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right, that's interesting. I mean, if there's a difficulty setting, I wouldn't mind playing more turn-based stuff. If there's like you get to a thing and you press one button and you win the battle. Do you know what I mean? I've got no interest in challenging turn-based strategy stuff.
Well, it's also because in every single
good story
Japanese RPG of these that I've played, there is always a point where it's like, now you've got to grind. To be good enough to go forward, and you just think this is a good example of why these games don't work. I think
I think there are a lot of examples of games that get around that, but the fact that there are any that don't still is amazing. Like it's
Okay, anything else?
So next we had the Chinese Room. I've shown off. It was Still Wakes the Deep, which is a narrative-driven first-person horror game.
You were definitely reading off a description there, aren't you? You've got zero interest in this one, have you, mate?
Well, it says it's a 70s set North Sea oil rig action, so that sounds pretty good.
I remember seeing this before, and it looked great, but I forgot it was a horror, and I'm not putting up with a hand of that.
This is it.
Everything else apart from that sounded great.
Like, I think it's very cool. So the Chinese Room obviously did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and what was the first one they did? Can never remember the name of it, even though it was the seminal walking simulator.
Let's find out. The Chinese Room.
Me now.
Which one was Everyone's Gone to the Rapture? Was that the one that I hated?
That was the one you hated in the English countryside.
God, I hate that game so much. I mean, it looked beautiful, but my word, it pissed me off.
And then they collaborated with the Amnesia devs and did a horror game, and it's like, cool, now can you go back to the nice games, please? And apparently they're doing another horror, so I'm like, fine, fuck me, I guess.
Dear Esther.
But then they're also doing...
I love that.
Dear Esther, yeah.
But they're also doing the new Vampire the Masquerade, aren't they? After that's been in limbo for years.
Yeah, Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, so that's weird. I'm very excited for them, like, obviously being such a small studio taking on a project like that, which was at one point very high profile.
Cool. Well, let's see what they got. Yeah.
Then we also got stuff for RoboCop Rogue City, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
We did. I didn't realise it's coming to Game Pass.
Oh, really?
Is it really? Good. Oh, that's great.
It is great.
That's great. When's that coming out?
2nd of November. Yeah. Oh, Fox, that's
Oh,
soon.
wow. Okay. Excellent. I will definitely play that. I'm looking forward to that then.
God,
I
next
need a
week's
new
going to be
game.
pretty packed then, because we've got Jusant as well, the new Don't Nod one.
Yeah,
Ooh.
which is also Game
between-
Pass, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. The
So
end of
much
the
to
year
play.
is going to be crazy. Matt, poor old Matt. He's not played anything this year, have you, mate?
It's just
You
getting
know,
It's
worse
been a
and
right
worse.
fucking disaster of a year, I think. So much to play, and like, I haven't finished anything.
I just can't wait to see your Gothi list, Matt.
I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it.
Coffee. Can I have coffee gold 4 times, please?
I know, it sucks. Ugh, I don't know.
Oh, dear.
Okay, next game was something called Dungeons of Hinterberg.
This looks
Okay.
alright.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like
What is it?
it's sort of third-person action, like dungeon crawl stuff, but also it's like set in this like ski resort where like the only reason people go there is because there's dungeons where you can hunt monsters, and there's just this weird mix of like, so it's got, you know, quite a well-established format of like there's like daytime social stuff, and then then you go down into the dungeons. But yeah, just I don't know, it's got a nice vibe about it. I'm
Are the
keen.
dungeons randomly
Okay.
generated by any chance?
I have no idea, James. Your
Bet they
segment.
are.
What's your issue with that?
Honestly, he's just the worst, isn't he? Of all the people. You know, why are you having a go at James? Because he hates
kind
the
of
stuff
bullshit.
that you like for no reason. Yeah.
So then there was Spirit of the North 2. I didn't even write down the description for this because I don't know.
I want to see Spirit of the North 1. I think I played this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played
that
through
one set in
this
the
a few
Arctic?
years ago.
Is it about me? Is it about my life?
Spirit of the North. No, it's not
No,
about your
that's a
life.
shame.
No, I didn't play this. I'm looking at it now. It's 3D. I thought it was a 2D game. Okay. All right. Well, who gives a shit then?
Then Metal
That's
Gear-
terrible, isn't it? Imagine if you're working on that game, you
Wow.
heard that. No, I didn't mean it like that. I was joking. Okay. All right. Spirit of the North. You play as a fox. Let's go.
Then we had Metal Gear Solid's Green Triangle Snake Eater. So this is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3.
I don't think you're actually meant to call it Green Triangle. I think that's just Eurogamer being funny.
Is it? I don't know.
But yeah, have you
yeah,
heard about
I'm-
the new Metal Gear Solid
Stockpress.
collection that's come out?
Yes.
And
I
apparently
really want
it's-
that as well.
Well, apparently it's dog shit.
Well,
So, there you go.
Is it dog shit? I mean, I heard like there wasn't NTSC versions, and on Switch, it's actually the cartridge only contains like only a few of the games. But
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, no, everything I've read is that it's just a shitty cash in. So there you go. That's one game you don't
Shame.
have to play, Matt.
But
Well,
I
several games
really
you don't
want to
have
get that because I want to play Metal Gear Solid 1 again.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Right? This is always the way with Metal Gear Solid with me. I go, yeah, Metal Gear Solid, oh my god, yeah. And then I play it and I'm like, I don't actually enjoy playing this game. I don't understand what's going on and I'm not enjoying it. And then I go, right, that's it for Metal Gear Solid for me. And then the next one comes along and it's like, oh remake of an old one, I'll play that then. The only one that I've said it a million times, the only one that I played that enjoyed is number 2. And everyone looks at me as if to go, get out of my face.
I don't know, because two had like massive reappraisal,
But
didn't it?
Metal
Those
Gear
people love it
Solid
now.
fans are still the Metal Gear Solid fans are still like, oh yeah, but it didn't have him in it.
It's the Matrix sequels of the Metal Gear Solid series, isn't it?
Is it really?
No, that's probably too harsh.
No,
I
'cause
say that
people look back at it now and they're all like, it was very prescient for like what's happened in like more modern times. So
Yeah.
it's gone very well.
And and the third one is, I think a lot of people widely regard as the best one. So, and I haven't played this at all. Well, apart from like an hour or so. So, I can't wait for this. Although this is a weird trailer because it wasn't really about the game. It just showed how good the game looked. There wasn't really anything about that. It's like a in-engine footage, they called it. Barely any gameplay, but I'm definitely going to get this because I have not played the third, and I'm excited to see what it's about.
Okay.
Okay, then we had Manor Lords, which is a strategy game where you are supposed to work on a medieval town.
Okay,
Move on.
Then we had The Finals, which is by Embark Studio.
I've played this.
It's a
oh, have you? Nice.
Oh, when did you play this?
It looks absolutely class.
I've had one game of it and it was fucking brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's a team-based first person shooter with objectives. It reminds me a bit of, was it Rogue Agents?
Oh,
What was that game that came out a couple of years ago?
Fuck, I know the one you
It
mean.
had have Run the Jewels all over it.
Yeah.
Rogue Company. That's it. I'm pretty sure it's Rogue Company, isn't it? Or is that like that also sounds like a Modern Warfare game? Rogue Company. Was it Rogue Company? Yes, it was Rogue Company. I think that's the game. That is the game I'm talking about. Okay. It reminds me a bit like that in that it is short, objective-based, team shooting. The hook here is that environments are insanely destructible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, things fall apart everywhere. It's also sort of the wrapping around it is about like as if it's a game show. So there's commentary while you're playing it. Red team are going for the win, all that sort of stuff. But it's not too intrusive. The gameplay feels absolutely brilliant, like really good fun. It looks really nice. And also it has a potential issue where these are, the games that we've played so far have all been 3 teams. So it's not one team versus another. It's 3 teams facing off against each other. And of course, one team is always going to feel way behind compared to the other 2. And when that happens, they just quit. And that is an issue. I don't know how they get around that. There's a thing where it's like you go into it and you go, I wonder why there's not been more games where it's like 3 teams facing off against each other. Well, this is the reason, because one feels like they're nowhere near the level of the other 2 and they quit. Mm-hmm. So it ends up just being one team versus another anyway.
So is that a matchmaking issue or what?
Well, no, it's just the way I mean, it's naturally not... It will be very hard to do an objective-based game like this where all 3 teams feel that they can win it. I think, like, after a few minutes, there's always going to be one that feels like, we're so far behind now, we've fucked it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Am I stupid? Is that just because there's 3 teams? It feels like with balancing and different abilities to score points, etc. Surely.
Well, it's not just because it's 3 teams, but it's also the fact that the game we played, you had to go and get a briefcase or an item or something, and then you had to get it back to like a central base or a base. There's several you can go for. You pick a base to head for, you cash it in, and then it takes like a minute or whatever you've got to protect it for like a minute. But the thing is, so that means the other 2 teams are trying to kill you and stop you doing what you're doing. But if you do achieve that, you're ahead of everyone else. Then if another team achieves that, they're both ahead of you. So all of a sudden, that 3rd team is always going to be behind. They're always going to be behind. So it's kind of like, well, what's the fucking point?
And
Let's cancel and then go to the next game.
Yeah, like once one team's on the back foot, for the other 2 teams to be like, well, we can just sort of pick on them, surely. Like,
but I mean, I think it's too manic. Yeah, I think it's too manic for that. Like, I've not seen a situation where it's kind of like, we can actively work with the other team. But who knows? I've played 1 or 2 games of this. I really enjoyed it. I think it's really smart. I think it looks great. But there's so much more to it that I haven't seen that it's hard to form that's why I haven't written it down. I haven't got a proper opinion on it yet.
Battlefield devs, and you can tell. I mean, like the trailer and gameplay, like looks and feels and sounds like Battlefield. And yeah, I remember seeing the first trailer when it got announced last year or the year before. And it looked absolutely stunning, and I'm really excited. I mean, the open beta's out. Open, until was it the 5th of November, I think it said. So,
okay, cool.
Plenty of opportunities still to play.
And that's available on PS5, Xbox, PC. It's on like everything. I just downloaded it on my Xbox and played it on
cross-platform,
that.
open beta, Steam, Xbox, PS5 from 26th of October to the 5th of November.
It's a game that has James, potential.
So, he's out.
That's not going to happen then. Yeah, never mind.
It's also free player, so he's definitely not going to be involved in that one. Yeah, go on then.
Okay, did anyone ever play Ark Survival? Right,
no,
did anyone play
I've always been intrigued.
Only to get Microsoft Award points.
I've always been interested, but then every time I've said to someone, I'm thinking about finally playing Ark, they're just like, no, don't, honestly, it doesn't deliver on anything you've seen. Like, but it's one of those that's just secretly fucking huge, isn't it? Like, it's a big deal.
Well, maybe you can go back, because there's Ark Survival Ascended is coming out, which is a remake of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is the one, because they did, because there was Ark, and then they did like a sort of Minecraft-esque version, didn't they? Where it was the same scope, but visually really simple. And I think that did really well as well. So yeah, I mean, this is essentially. I know you said it's a remake, but it's essentially a sequel, isn't it? I think it's supposed to like replace the first one, but it's But I mean, for those who don't know, it's this wilderness survival thing where there's dinosaurs, but then so you start out with like super primitive tools, but then there's sci-fi shit as well. That's kind of all I know. And as I say, if you look at trailers and stuff, you're like, oh, surely this is the best game ever made. Apparently, the reality of it doesn't really match up. But
I know what you mean, because it's one of those games where I just feel like I always see it, like on things like Game Pass or like whatever. You know, it's always like it's a game there, but then I've never thought about touching it. But obviously, somebody must be, you know, because it seems to be doing all right. So I don't know, weird. After that, there was some Alan Wake 2 footage. I mean, that's out now, and we can maybe talk about that in a bit. But that was the last thing they showed.
Cool. All right.
Okay. The next story is that Media Molecule has apparently let around 20% of their staff go. They've been laid off. So
every week we're hearing big layoffs, aren't we?
Yeah, it seems to be happening a lot. So do you want to hear what they have to say about this?
I said no.
Then we move on to the next story. They said Media Molecule has made significant strategic changes during the past year, including shifting our focus from Dreams to our new project. We have had to make the difficult decision to begin the consultation process for team members within certain departments of the studio. This is a tough moment for the individuals impacted and the studio overall. Every single role that has been put at risk is delivered by someone who has contributed something special to Media Molecule. We will make sure those impacted receive the best support we can provide during this process. We will continue to support the Dreams community for the foreseeable future and will update on future plans at a later date. So, yeah, it's
sad, obviously. I think what's extra sad about Media Molecule losing staff is that, like, I don't think it's unfair to say they've never had like a massive hit, like numbers wise, like culturally. I know they've obviously Sackboy being like the face of the PS3 for ages and stuff. Yeah. Like they've always, the point I'm getting at is I feel like Sony have always looked after Media Molecule because they made good shit. Like even if they weren't necessarily, like topping the charts every week. Like Tearaway's fucking brilliant. Like I feel like Tearaway always gets overlooked. I think people talk about Media Molecule. It's like, oh yeah, the Dreams and Little Big Planet guys. Like, the fucking Tearaway is amazing.
So fucking good. It really was.
Dreams I never got into, but like I really appreciate what it did. And as I say, it always felt like they were, for whatever reason, they were always sort of protected by Sony as like a flagship studio who make cool and interesting things. So to see even them having to cut down on numbers is just like, fuck, man.
Yeah. And lots of people are raving about the more recent DLC for Dreams called Tren.
Oh, yeah.
I saw lots of people on Twitter talking about that.
It looks really good. So
I do wonder
what the next title is going to be.
Yeah, whether it's going to be like, another sort of creation software kind of thing, because they really do seem to enjoy making those. Because we had Dreams and Little Big Planet was also that, wasn't it? Really,
Little Big Planet was so smart, but it feels like they're yet to have their big holy shit moment. Like honestly, that's what it feels like. But they also feel like a studio that definitely has a holy shit moment.
Yeah, like 100% is going to happen. Like,
like it will happen. Like they do too much good shit for them not to just bring something out and for everyone to go, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, so hopefully they fight or get the chance to do that. Like, I really hope they do.
Yeah, I would love their next project to be a bit more focused because, although Dreams was incredibly impressive, I mean, just personally, it's not something I would really engage with. But you can see, as you say, the creativity and the dedication they've got to that. So it'd be great to see what they could do if they went with much more kind of a traditional game where people go and they play. It's not about creating a game, or I've experienced it's just about playing the game that this studio works on. So excited to see what they do next.
I do wonder if Dreams would have done well on PC. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I guess the argument was like, but there's fucking millions of tools you can use to make a game on PC. Yeah. But I feel like Dreams on PC would have been a nice, like for someone like me who enjoys the idea of that kind of thing, but not necessarily the reality of like actual proper game dev tools. I feel like Dreams on PC would have been a really nice middle ground, but I don't know.
Especially if they were like, you could like release levels and it'd be people could play it on PS5 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing. It would have been, it would have been good.
There wasn't even a dedicated PS5 version of Dreams, was there?
No, there wasn't. No, it was just
that's
PS4.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel that the only. Well, I mean, there are loads of user-created content games. I still think Mario Maker was the best. Like, it's the one that I look at in terms of console and go, "Holy shit! They absolutely nailed making levels here."
And it's
obviously
kind of,
that
and
was
it's
not
unfair,
what Dreams
isn't it?
was about.
Because Mario Maker works as well as it does because it is a limited rule set that we've all known
on an
for
incredible
years.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next story is that Nintendo have released some new guidelines for smaller scale fan tournaments. So if you want to hold what they're calling a community tournament, you have to adhere to some new rules. So first of all, tournaments are not allowed to have more than 200 participants a day if they're held in person, and 300 daily if it's for an online tournament. Now, money raised through spectator tickets and entry fees is capped at £18, and it must not exceed the costs of organising the tournament and raising prize money.
That's £18 per person, I assume, not in total.
Yeah. So also, prize money, which is limited to a total of £4,500, cannot be generated from spectator ticket sales. So you're not allowed to use the ticket sales for the prize money.
Am I being thick? What difference does that make to Nintendo?
Because this is all about not reducing the amount of profit organisers make. Yeah. It's all about them getting the hump about companies making profit out of what they see as their game. They don't see it as, oh no, you've actually created a tournament. The tournament is the attraction here. No, they're saying Smash Brothers is the attraction. So we want to limit how much money you can legally make out of our game.
It's
just bollocks. It's so counterproductive. It's so short-sighted. It's so insanely short-sighted. Well, how are we supposed to make your game look like the world's biggest thing?
I was going to say, surely if you should be thrilled that people want to do tournaments. Okay, go on, sorry.
Right, go on. It gets worse.
Go on, please.
Nintendo is also explicitly prohibiting the sale of food and drink at venues with spectators.
What the fuck is going on here?
There's more. Tournaments may not use the name of a Nintendo game in their title. Although you are allowed to use it for an accompanying event description. So for example, you can't call it a Smash Brothers tournament or something like that. It's not allowed. Although you could say in the description, we will be playing Smash Brothers.
Can you call it Brothers of Smash 2024?
But then
Why
also,
would they want to do this?
There's
Why
more.
would they want to?
Schools can only host a license-free community tournament provided it is not open to the public and is held between no more than 2 schools.
What? Are they just being awkward? Are they just being deliberately awkward to make people not want to bother?
This is what right. So
that's what it seems like.
You think they know they can't be that short-sighted. They must know that there's a benefit of a huge tournament based around their game, right? They must see that benefit, but it must outweigh what they perceive as a negative. And I can't imagine it's this. I can't imagine it's the fact that they can't control what happens at the event.
If there is a Smash Brothers event, can't protect the brand, but this is just
if there is a Smash Brothers event, and if you remember correctly, there was a Smash Brothers scene, wasn't there? And then that got exposed. There was a report on it about how it was toxic, and there was accusations of assault and all sorts going on. I can see why Nintendo would want to say, we do not want headlines saying there was a Smash Brothers, there's been claims of assault at a Smash Brothers tournament. Right, I can see that. I understand that. However, that's kind of not what the rest of the industry does.
Yeah, plus if it was
coming out with this shit just makes them look really old. And, they look ridiculous.
Yeah, if it was them saying we've got a new set of rules about small tournaments and it's about player conduct and security and all that stuff, then you'd be like, all right. It's a pain in the arse for small tournament organisers, but I get it. That's a worthwhile thing for people to do. But this just seems like completely arbitrary hoops they have to jump through to make them just not want to fucking bother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much red tape that
Yeah.
you're right, Sean. People are like, "Well, sod this. What is the point? Well, what kind of tournament would actually exist with all these rules? It's just they're doing it so the scene dies, and then they'll be like, well, I guess no one wanted to bother anymore. We gave them just some rules, and now look, but clearly they're doing whatever they can to kill the scene.
They don't want to make competitive games. I mean, they make that very clear with the games that they release. It's not about. Although saying that, they do with. They do a lot of competitive stuff with Splatoon, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, I've not followed it for a long time, but that's my understanding.
So I don't get this. These seem like really, really strange rules that you think are probably counterproductive, but there's probably an idea in mind. The only thing that crosses my mind is that they don't want to be associated with a big story about something that's happened at one of these tournaments.
Yeah, because
it looks like they organised it.
Because then, if something happens, they can just say this is nothing to do with us. This is like an independent kind of thing, and that's why I can understand why they don't want you naming like a game in the title of the tournament. Because then it's like they can just say this was an independent event. I can only assume
that's it. I can only assume it's that's it. But there is a way of saying that. Like there's a way of putting that across without these ridiculous restrictions that just make you go, what? And actually, in terms of a PR move, it just looks really bad on Nintendo. It looks like you're trying to stifle people that like playing your game. Whereas if that's not what you're doing and you have got legitimate concerns about how tournaments are run, then fine, but say that. Do you know what I mean?
But this is what they always do, isn't it? It's always like the really heavy hand to deal with anything like this. I mean, like with the stuff with like online play, like the fact that you can't talk with people. It's not. But
at least that's like you can see that from an online safety point of view. They're like, well, kids play these games, so no, you can't talk to anyone.
But they could have worked some way around that, perhaps. It doesn't. Instead, it's just like, no, just cut it off like completely. And this feels similar.
Be transparent about it. Be open and honest. We as a company do not want to be associated with tournaments that we have no control over. Then you would go, oh, right, I kind of, I don't agree with it, but I kind of see their point. But instead, we're sitting here going, what's this about? How many schools can play against each other? What is this?
They would never say that because they would never kind of want to make it their. They would never want to make their reasons be like the end of these things. If this way, look, we've given you some stringent rules. I've adhered to them, or don't do it. And then it's actually not their fault. It's the people organising tournaments that don't want to adhere to the new rule set. Rather than them admitting failure.
This is worse, though, Matt. This is worse. What they're doing here is worse. It's fundamentally worse.
I'm not defending them. I'm just like Nintendo doing everything they can to make it not so it's not their fault. It's actually the people who don't want to adhere to the new rules. But it's absolutely ridiculous. What?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
just killing a community, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think they're that interested in cultivating that community.
They're not. They're really not. No.
Next story is also a Nintendo one, which I was in two minds about including because it's such a nothing story. Because it's another. I mean, it's a patent that's been discovered by Game Rant, and it's what it is it's
Game Rant.
Nintendo have apparently patented this dual screen gaming device that can split in two. So it says instead of like it being like a clamshell design, where it's like you open it up and there's the screen, this time it's like the screen is on the top of it and you can pull them apart and the top and bottom parts of the machine will work independently of each other.
Stop making me fucking detach things, Nintendo. So, take this off, do that, turn that round. No, give me a new console, you shit. Put the detached money into a little bit of processing power.
Well,
it's
I don't know
4K.
if this is depressing or not, but these days this stuff just makes me think like, but no one's going to use it, Nintendo. Like a few people will, but everyone else is going to be like, well, no, we're making games for the Xbox and the PlayStation, so this.
But then having said that, Sean. Those people that are making those games are not releasing games on the Switch. It's still a massive success. They've already left it behind. And in terms of all the gimmicky shit that all these companies have bought out in the past like 10 years or whatever, the Joy-Cons is probably the best use I've seen. Like, I mean, personally, I know there are people that listen to this that will never have detached their Joy-Cons from their Switch, and I get that, I hear you. But in our household, it's we want to play a 4-player game of this. Great. just detach the
already-
Joy-Cons, and we're going, when they're around someone's house, we see them playing tabletop mode quite a bit. It's weird. It's just funny. Like, all my family went on holiday last week, and my sister posted a photo of my dad and my nephew playing Mario Kart on a plane using Joy-Cons. And I just thought, oh yeah, of course. That is one of the gimmicky things that is actually pretty good. I do not see splitting a screen in two as something that will be anything more than you'll do it once and go, okay, that's that then.
But
it makes no sense to me.
When it says split in half, I mean, looking at all these pattern pictures and reading the description, this is just like a foldable phone as we see them these days. Like, it says can be used independently. I mean, just like and it says, what's different about it is that the screen...
Like a tablet.
Yeah, it's like the top screen faces out. Well, again, this is like a foldable phone. Like, it's basically a clamshell, but it goes all around rather than stopping at 45-degree angle, whatever it is. So this isn't actually that radical. It says split in half.
No, the big
when I read
change
that, I was
is...
like, you can literally pull them apart. I mean, this means I can use one side or the other, just like a foldable phone.
Well, no, because the only thing is it says the top and bottom parts of the machine would also be able to operate independently of each other. So I don't know what that would mean.
Independently means if you fold it over completely like it's a foldable phone, then you'll just use the touchscreen without having to use the other screen. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't read like you can pull them apart entirely and use one.
In the link that you posted, which was linked to the Video Games Chronicles that run the story, they have posted the patent. Do you remember where it was a controller that was just a screen?
The little over,
it was literally in the shape of a controller, but the whole thing was a screen.
Awful.
That was just before the Switch came out, so we shouldn't read into this too much. You're absolutely right, James.
Especially, I mean, it looks like a 3DS, doesn't it, or something really from like the patent pictures.
It really does, yeah.
I mean, they patent this sort of thing all the time anyway. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway, last story is that
all right, you put it in there.
I was in two minds about it because it's a bit shit, but there wasn't much this week. So Super Mario Brothers Wonder is now the fastest selling Mario game in Europe. So it smashed all the records after 3 days on sale. I'd imagine that's just because a lot of people own Nintendo Switches by this stage.
I think that's still massive though, right? Like, for it to outsell the likes of Mario Odyssey, and you'd imagine that the 3D games would have more of a following. But I think, I heard a lot of people have asked me about this new Mario game because I was in game over the weekend actually, and I heard someone turn around.
Was that one in Sports Direct?
No, we've been Sutton. We've got our own independent game store.
Have you?
And
I didn't think they existed anymore.
Yeah, no. And it's got a Belong on it opposite it as well. Yeah, it's really tucked away. It's there. And I was in there at the weekend, and I heard a dad talking to his kid, going, "Is that Mario? It's a Mario game. I played the first one. I played that. Yeah, I think I completed it." And it was like, oh yeah. This appeals to quite a wide audience because that dad was probably going to go, I'll give that one a go. Whereas a 3D Mario game, absolutely no chance, zero interest, So maybe it's got like mass appeal that I wouldn't expect. I bought it. How about that?
Me and on.
Yeah, me.
That's 3 copies.
What about you, Matt?
And me.
Yeah.
I bought it.
4.
That's 4.
That's 4
Imagine
copies.
That. Yeah, we looked at the news story again. Oh yeah, it sold 4 copies in 3 days.
yeah, unbelievable. Okay.
That's it for the news. There's nothing else. Yeah, we're done.
Well, let's get on to what you've been playing then. Where do we start? Well, we were going to go to talk about the Quest at the end of when we were talking about the Quest 3 last week. Sean, I said we'll cut short there. We'll do a proper look at it this week.
Yeah.
What's the latest there? Because you haven't written it down.
Not really had any chance to play on it.
Oh, no,
It's been a big week. Started a new job and was also very ill at the same time. So it's been
that's not fun.
Great combo.
Yes, it's really good.
It's been yeah, and it's been half term as well,
Yes.
isn't it? We've all
So it's
had
just been
to
a
deal
big
with
laugh.
that little nugget.
Yeah.
I like the fact that kids, my barber was saying to me today, when did Inset Days start? And I was like, oh yeah, because we didn't have Inset Days as kids.
Yeah, we did.
And now it's like, No, we didn't.
No, we
I
did.
didn't.
They've been
We
around.
definitely
They've been around since the 1980s.
We had
There's not as many, I
teacher
reckon.
training days like once a year. I swear to God.
I think we just
have
didn't really know
random days
what
off.
day of the
No,
week
they
it
were
was
more
most of
we
the
definitely
time,
had 'em.
right? If-
Well, yeah, but you went to private school, James. I'm talking about state schools.
I
don't
did not
think we
go
had
to
them,
private
mate.
school, and also
you did.
I did not. Fuck off.
Yeah, they've been around since we were there. It's just it feels like there's a lot, and now we have to deal with like childcare, and the fact they always put them at the end of a holiday. Like
We get exactly all the time. And as I've said a million times, there wasn't an inset day during the lockdown when we were teaching them from home. Not at no point did they turn around and go, "Yeah, just have a day off. Don't worry about teaching the kids today." They didn't do it once.
yeah, we could have done with some teacher training actually.
Yeah, when they announced that they were coming back, they had 3 inset days in a row, and I was like, "Hold the what? That was you owe us a couple of these." Okay, so you've got not much to say about the Quest 3.
No.
We'll come back to that at a later
Are you
date.
going to use it again, Sean?
Yeah, I am going to use it. I'm not doing a James. I am excited to use it. Just we've said before, it's that thing of it's not like my habit isn't right. Time to play games this evening. I'm going to grab the headset off the wall and put that on. It's like, no, I'm going to sit on the sofa and get the Xbox pad. That's just my default route. So it's just that weird sort of rewiring of like, no, just fucking put the headset on. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the same for me. That's why I haven't done it, Sean, as well.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a barrier! Like it sounds fucking absurd. Like I've got this
It
new
is more
toy
hassle,
and-
though.
Yeah,
It's just
because it's. I think as well. Like we used to have quite a big space in the living room where I could do it, and recently my dad donated us an indoor trampoline for Isaac, which he fucking loves.
Oh my God, that is the worst thing I could
Thanks,
ever
Dad.
imagine.
I mean, it's kind of amazing because it just means whenever Isaac's like being a bit hyper, he just fucking goes on the trampoline. And I'm like, all right, fine, and then just burns it off, and then he's good to go. But
Okay.
it's just another thing to like move that out, lift that up, to put that out of the way. So I just think, it's just been knackered all week, so yeah, I'm just going to collapse on the sofa instead. Sorry,
I can't imagine anything worse.
480 quid.
Are you going to try out Xbox Cloud Gaming when it comes out in December on it?
I mean, I'll try it. I'm not expecting anything from it because obviously the thrill, inverted commas, thrill of like viewing stuff like that in VR is, well, you can make it massive, can't you? Make it look like a big old cinema.
Yeah, but it's not
Cinema
great.
screen.
But it often looks bad because you're like, oh well, there's the compression artifacts. Cheers. So it's
See, I've tried that. Like with PSVR 2, you can do that obviously with like anything you're playing, and it's like, yeah, you can do that, and you can make the screen really big, and it's fine, but it's still nicer watching it on a 4K TV than it is on a the.
I bet it's quite good with like a 4K Blu-ray though. If you own any of those,
Never tried it. But yeah.
I can just
I've
imagine that
never
having
owned a Blu-ray,
enough
so, yeah.
data
You never
to
owned
be
a Blu-ray?
worth zooming in.
Not even a Blu-ray.
No, I've never owned a Blu-ray ever.
Bloody hell!
I mean, I saw a tweet today where it was like, what a shame that Blu-ray and
HD DVD.
what is it called, Ultra HD Blu-rays didn't become like a thing because they just look so much better than the fucking streaming stuff we watch,
massively,
and that is 100%
See, I'm
true.
swinging towards like wanting to just buy things on Blu-ray now because so many streaming services are happy to just binge like stuff off. That it's like, oh yeah. I mean, we've always known that they can do this, and they've always done it. It just seems to be getting worse, and I'm very much like, oh yeah, if I really like something, I should just buy it and have it rather than trusting.
Yeah, but it's like the clutter, it's getting the discs out. I mean, yes, it definitely looks better on kind of lossless Blu-rays and ultra HD Blu-rays, but like, come on, it's one of those kind of good enough scenarios, isn't it?
The clutter I get, but getting the disc out. Come
It's
on,
true.
are we
I
really at that
prefer.
point?
I still buy stuff sometimes, but I buy it like online, like digital versions or whatever. I don't, because like you said, a lot of stuff disappears from streaming services all the time.
I would suggest, Sean, next time you walk past CEX, walk in because the Blu-rays and Ultra HD Blu-rays are rather cheap because no one's buying the fuckers.
Well, this is because like the other week I was on Hot UK Deals and it was like, oh, there's like a special edition Blues Brothers on Blu-ray for like a £5. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll own the Blues Brothers for five quid. That's a great film.
Yeah. Although the last Blu-ray I bought was the Bros documentary because it was like £4 on Blu-ray on Amazon just after it shown in the UK, and I was like, there might be a stage in my life where I'll never be able to watch this again, so I need to buy the Blu-ray of this just so I always have it. We've watched it about 8 times, Sean,
Really,
and it never gets old. Never gets old. It's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Right?
I just hate it.
What else? What have you been playing this week, Sean?
I was just a bit more Mario Wonder. I've been playing like a bit of lots of things. Played a bit of Mario Wonder. Not really got anything new to say about it. I'm liking it more the more I play it. Like I've just finished.
I'm struggling with it a little bit.
I've just finished World 3, which I know last week we kept saying World 3, and I realised we actually meant World 2, which is the snowy, cloudy one. And then there's World 3, which I loved. And then you get a bit of freedom about where to go next, which was interesting.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm really enjoying it. But nothing new to say about it, really. What are you saying? You're struggling with it?
Only in that I am not loving it.
Okay.
Like, it's a good game and I'm enjoying it, but I'm not sitting there going, "This is God."
I do feel like the elephant is.
It does seem pointless, doesn't it?
It's not as bad as the bubble. The bubble Mario is fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
Really, really.
But you can
bad.
use that to like do like quite cool like platforming stuff. You know, because like if you throw it out ahead of you and then jump on it and stuff like that, it's pretty good. But I've also
it's like it's a fun. Like honestly, it's not fun to use, which is very un-Mario like. Like you look at all the power ups and the bits that you can do. Say with the hat in fucking Odyssey, everything's fun. Whereas like the bubble thing, you watch little bubbles come out, and you're like, all right.
I did have like playing it this week. I had one moment which is probably the first time I've like really laughed out loud at a Mario game, like I think ever, which was just really funny. It was like I got one of those Wonder Seeds that slows everything down, and so like everything was slowed down, and this Goomba like came across the screen like really fast, and then saw me, and then its face like was just like. It's like as I was coming to it in slow motion, and it looked so good. It looked really, it was really funny. Made me laugh. Cool. It was great.
Have you turned the talking flowers back on yet, James?
I have, yeah.
They're all right, aren't they?
They're all right.
One thing that freaked me out.
Not too bad,
I was doing a level where there's all these crystals that you can smash, and these flowers are like stuck in the crystals, right? And when you break them out, they're like gasping for air.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, good. So if I don't do one of those, they're suffocating in the fucking crystal. That's a nice feeling.
Have you not seen the TikToks doing around of the? It's like of Mario Wonder, and it says this new voice actor is quite something, and Mario dies, and he's like, just every time it's like really funny. I am enjoying it. I am not loving it to the point where I'm like, holy this is a big step, because I'm not seeing it as a big step forward. I'm not seeing the Wonder stuff as I honestly I don't like the badges. Because
how many have you got though, Dave?
A few, but it doesn't matter. Like the concept of the badge. No, it doesn't. The concept of the badges is just. But if you listen to what my criticism is, or what I don't like about them, the concept of the badges is not what I feel Mario should be.
I think I agree with you already. I think I know.
Yeah. So if you're going into a level, I don't really know what badge to use at the moment. I'm just using the wall climbing one because that tends to be the most useful.
Yeah, wall jump. Yeah.
But when Mario is at its best, it's got a mechanic, and then it builds something around that mechanic. Whereas this, because you can go in with any badge, it's kind of like so the individual levels that are built where you can only use that specific badge, which is usually the one where you unlock that badge, right? They're fucking great, and they're really well done, right? But when you're going into every other level, it's kind of like, well, which one should I use? And when I use it, well, this one's. I come across something, and I went, well. If I'd have picked that other badge at the start, I'd have done. Then I could have got that thing.
I see you're designing the levels, and you can't know exactly what toolkit the player has. You just have to kind of you're going to end up with levels that are a bit generic in that sense. Like
you can know up to a point what they've got in the sense of like what's been unlocked by the point you get to, like World 3
but then
or
you
World
don't know
4 or
what
whatever.
they've equipped on any.
Yeah, but
No, that's true.
that-
but then
yeah, but
also the other thing that you can
but
do with this that you don't get with the previous set is that it does mean that you can then go back and explore levels with different abilities. This is something you can do that you couldn't do in the other games.
But I don't want to go back and explore with different abilities. I don't need that from a Mario game. Because it's a very linear level. It's an A to B level. With
But they're often not. That's the whole thing with this game, though, because Wonder is not. There's loads of multiple exits. There's other places to go. It's
Okay.
not. This is much more, this one, like Super Mario World than any of the other Mario games that's come out, in the sense that there are different ways to get through stuff. And there are lots and lots of secrets to find.
I think the argument still stands that when you're, on World 3, if you're designing that level, the player has then got, 5 badges, 6 badges, maybe 7? And you're like, I'm not specifically designing a level for any of these badges. You can't. And if I am, there's no need to call me that. And if I am, then I know that the player cannot switch mid-level. So, or maybe they can. Can they? Can you switch?
No, I don't think so.
Mid-level?
Only after even after you've died, I don't think you can. No, it's you have to exit and then go back in again.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, well, you can only really do it to one. Like, you can't, surely you wouldn't want to design a level for where one secret you need one badge and another secret you need another badge, because that means that you've got to run the level 3 times to get each secret.
At least, right? Because you might use another badge that doesn't get you anything.
Yeah, unless you fucking forget it.
That's true, but then also...
Sorry, go on.
It can modify, like, depending on the way that you like to play as well. Like, that's the other thing which is different with this. You can equip badges that give Mario, like, quite a different feeling, which... That's new as well.
I don't think that positive outweighs the negatives that I see from the system.
The other problem is,
honestly, it just feels like I'm missing out when I'm playing levels a little bit, and I don't like that feeling. I like the idea of playing a Mario level and saying I can find everything at all times.
But you can
going into that level.
But you can.
Okay, so there's no unlockables, because you've just said the good thing about the badge system is that you can go back with new abilities and find stuff that you couldn't see before.
Yeah, you can, in the sense of you can find like hidden exits and stuff like that. But in terms of getting things to actually finish the level, such as like all 3 purple coins, all that kind of stuff, you can do that with nothing probably, and it'd be okay. But the whole point of this is that you go back and find other stuff. Like when you played Mario World, you can't... Like when I first played Mario World, you can't go through that game and unlock every single exit in one playthrough of a level. It's impossible.
No, I understand that. But you had that feeling of going through that level thinking that you could. And here, you're kind of like, well, I haven't got this and I haven't got that. So have I picked the wrong thing?
Well, no, you're not, because you still know that you can still get everything you need to get through a first run of the level and get all the coins and everything.
I disagree. It's that choice at the start. I kind of think, actually, I'd rather if you've gone, here's the badge you've got for this level. This is the modifier.
Well, I was going to say,
like the idea of modifying the mechanics of Mario. I really like that idea.
You just don't like having the choice of you choosing which one to do.
No, I like knowing that I'm going into a level that's specifically designed for the modification.
Well, every level you can just press the button to have Prince Florian's
the guy choose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I assume that was random.
It is random. It's not.
There's 2.
Yeah.
It's definitely some levels. It is definitely informed by the level, because there's some where like I was like, right, I don't know what to pick, and it's like use the swimming one. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah,
and then
there's one that says recommended. There's one that says recommended above it. But what we're talking about is that there's also an option to say King's Choice or whatever it is. I can't remember what it was. But I'm assuming that was just random, so I sort of just haven't used that.
I mean, either way. As a compromise, I don't know if I like it, because it is just like, well, you've given me a potentially interesting choice, and then sort of gone, but you might not be able to make that. Like that choice might not be an informed one, so we'll just give you the option to not make a choice, and we'll just kind of tell you which one.
Right.
Do you know what I mean, I think it's interesting. I think it's and I've not found this to be a problem yet, but I understand. Yeah, like on paper, it's a weird design problem they've created for themselves, I think.
I'd agree with you that, I mean, the biggest problem with it is that, as you said, when you're first going into level, you don't know what to choose. But then I think it's because this game, perhaps even more so than like the new Super Mario Brothers series, has been designed to keep going back to levels to do stuff.
Yeah, like at no point have I seen something in a level and been like, oh, for fuck's sake, if I'd chosen this other badge, I'd be able to jump up there and do this, that. Like, I've always just sort of been able to just sort of go with it. It's not like, sort of worse Metroidvanias where you're just seeing shit. It's like, oh, well, if I could fucking go, if I could be a morph ball, I'd go do things.
Yeah, it just gives me a different vibe, like that I've never had with Mario before. And as I said, modifying the way you play Mario is no bad thing at all. I'm not against that. What I love about Nintendo is them going, we got this idea, we got this thing, let's see what we can get out of it. Whereas here it feels a little bit more throwaway than that, other than the levels that are specific. And that's the difference. Like, when you play the levels that are specifically designed for each badge, you're like, oh, this is genius. They've really thought about how you're modifying the way you play here. And these are like, for example, the wall jump one, where you have 2 spinning sticks. And you're like, how on earth am I ever supposed to get up that? And you realise that when you nail the mechanic, it's like, oh no, okay, I can see exactly what I'm supposed to be doing now. Whereas I don't get that from any of the other levels where I've selected a badge.
But then also, like, if you want, because I've so far accessed, there's another like special area, which I think you're supposed to go to like much later in the game after you've kind of finished it. There's levels there which are clearly,
I've been there.
Yeah, they're clearly designed around specific mechanics as well.
Right.
Like there's no way that you could do those without them. I
was going to say, do you think this could end up being we should have all just shot up until we finished the main game and then...
That's what I'm thinking, honestly.
Not really, because I think when you're playing the game, if you've got these feelings that either you're missing out or you're doing something wrong,
I definitely feel limited and missing out. It feels like Mario's always like, it's like really varied, rich, like moveset, and now I'm like, well, I'll go with just one, and I know, yes, James, you said you can complete the main objectives for a level, but I just feel like have I chosen the right one? Do I have to go back? Will I have a better experience if I've done something else? I just feel limited and like I've made a wrong choice, even if I've choosing like the wall jump, which I like, because it feels to aid me more than the others I've unlocked so far. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure. I think you might be right. Maybe by the time I get it finished, I can maybe appreciate it more. But right now, it just feels a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I'm enjoying what I played. I think it's I'm having fun with it, but I'm not feeling overwhelmed by it. And I suppose as you say, that's not going to be my end view of the game. My feelings of playing Mario Odyssey up to the credits was very different by the time that I'd hit 999 moons in that game. It went from a 7, 8 to no, this is a stone cold 10. So Mario games do this. I'm just I'm a little bit like kind of flat on it at the moment. But that's Mario Wonder. That's where we're up to. I need to play more of that game. Because the game that I've been hammering beyond belief this week is Spider-Man 2. And let me tell you this. I have done everything that you could possibly do in that game. And I have stopped midway through the final cutscene to come and record this bloody podcast.
Oh, wow.
Because I was running it really tight to the thing. But I've, 100%ed every district. I've just about to watch the credits roll. I've got a lot of thoughts about this game up until this point. But as an update from last week's segment where we spoke about Spider-Man 2, I will say that in contrast to the opening of this game, the latter part of this game, I think the side activities are worse than they are at the start. Yeah, so at the start we were talking about the photo stuff, the collection, collecting bits and pieces and all that. I loved all that stuff. Whereas at the latter part, it is a lot more like, here's a combat room. Here's 8 combat rooms around the map. So you've unlocked these now, go and do the combat rooms, which...
I also did not enjoy that flying one. I found that quite irritating.
I didn't mind the flying one. I know what you're talking about. I didn't mind the flying ones too much. I preferred them to the stuff that I don't think you've got to yet, James.
I don't know. I've only, on the map, most of the districts have only got one thing left that I've got to do that's locked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
that the one, right?
Not great. That's really not great. But like, for example, we could talk about because everyone's talking about he's in the game. Mysterio, those bits are okay, but it feels like there's too many of them, and they're worth doing because at the end of most of these activities, there's something really fucking cool. Did you get all the spider bots, James?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's very good.
I was, but I don't know if it is very good.
I thought it was.
It's really hard to talk around it because I thought they were doing something. I thought, right, okay, I can say this. I thought they were referencing another Spider-Man game. And when I looked it up, they absolutely weren't. They were referencing something that was cut from something completely anyway. So it was kind of it was, I don't, maybe later we should talk about why you think that's good, because I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of disappointing actually, because I kind of don't get it other than it opens up a few ideas. Put it this way, we pretty much know where Spider-Man 3 is going, right, James?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say the story stuff, however, in contrast, I think the game story-wise, it starts quite slowly. It's cool because you're sort of splitting it up with all this swinging about and fighting in these little crime scenes and all this sort of stuff, the little crime gangs that are around the city. You're doing all this fighting and you're mixing it up with cycling through a park or, all that sort of stuff. The latter part of the game is just like, right, no, here's the most intense, crazy action you've ever seen in a video game, and that lasts for a good 3 to 4 hours of just solid action. And my word, is it good? Like, it's really, really fucking good. Loads of boss fights, you feel more and more powerful with every fight. Like, you feel really fucking powerful by the end of it. And it just does not stop. It's relentless, the last part of the game, story-wise. So yeah, I'm buzzing about it. I've got some criticisms. If I was reviewing it, it would get a 9 rather than a 10. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those. But my word, it's the stuff that's good in this game is really, really fucking good.
So you think it's the best of the 3?
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough because I think overall plot-wise, I think Spider-Man 1 was better. The first Spider-Man on the PS4. I think Spider-Man 2 does some of the most incredible things that these games have ever done, and the combat is a huge step up from what we've seen before in these games. I think it looks beautiful. I love the fact that the map is way bigger. Like, it feels less claustrophobic. And it feels less frustrating. Like, everything's really simple to use. Like, I loved Spider-Man and Miles Morales, but trying to cross Central Park in that game was bad enough. Whereas in this, like, getting about is just not an issue. At no point does it put a brick wall in your traversal, which is great. And if it does, you run up it, don't you, James?
Yep.
Yep. But I really love the condensed nature of Miles Morales and the intense focus on that character, because I do prefer him as a character. And by the end of this game, Miles Morales is an absolute hero. Like, I love Miles so much. So I was worried that they were doing him dirty a little bit, where he was getting mugged off by Peter Parker all the time. And then there's like Peter Parker's fighting these massive things, and then like it goes to Miles Morales and he's working in his university taking snaps of people around his university for the you know what I mean? It's like kind of like, oh really? Are we doing this? That he's definitely the shit Spider-Man, or the less important Spider-Man, assistant to the Spider-Man. But they don't. Like, by the end of it, like, Miles is the best thing you've ever seen. So it's
because
cool.
Peter's pretty boring, isn't he? Like, even in this, I think he's not that interesting, compared with.
He gets better towards the end. You're about to see Pete become a much better character, I think.
Okay.
But there is a bit like, I mean, it's no secret that the symbiont attaches itself to Peter at some point, and when that happens, that is quite funny. because all of a sudden he goes from, hey man, everything's cool and we're trying to save the world and everything's great and I love you, to going, hey, I'm gonna hit you. And they're like, whoa, Peter, that's well out of order. No, I'm the hero. No, Peter, now you take the pit. That's arrogant.
I've just realised,
arrogant,
James,
Peter.
is this why before the show you were asking if Dave had seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Because I was saying, I think the journey with Venom is a lot better in this than it is in those films. It's,
Venom's a great character who I thought was going to be a continuing thing, but I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen to Venom now. It's it'd be a shame to just get rid of it, because visually the idea of Venom is incredible, and it does some stuff, James, that I cannot wait to talk to you about. I can't wait to talk to you about some of this stuff. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
We will talk about that.
I mean, what you said though about it being relentless is like absolutely it, because that's what's happened with like today. I played a bit more of it, and like you start a mission, you think, oh, how long is this going to be? And then it's just like it's continuous, like just thing after thing after thing.
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
and it doesn't stop from there. It doesn't stop from this point here, and it gets more intense as well. And there's a boss fight that made me laugh so much. And I'll tell you what the discussion was between me and my wife, and anyone that's played it will know exactly the boss fight that I'm talking about. But I'm watching this boss fight, and I just went, oh look, Joe, it's me and you. And she watched it for a bit, and she went, yeah, it is, you're right. I was like, honestly, I was wetting myself the more it went on. I was pissing myself. It was so good.
I'll tell you what, though, the Mary Jane stuff is still a bit annoying, isn't it?
It gets better. It gets way better. So if you remember from the first game, there's Mary Jane segments where you're doing stealth. And you're taking, it's very stealthy sort of stuff. And it was terrible in the first game. And the first mission as Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 is just like it, and you're like, oh, why are we doing this again? The second and third mission as Mary Jane, nah. The third one in particular, James, it turns into a third-person shooter, and a pretty good one.
Really?
Like, yeah,
because the one I got to it was like still doing electrical stuff and then a bit of shooting, but it was...
Yeah, you wait.
Okay.
You wait. It's a very good game. Very good game. Oh, there was one little argument we had, wasn't there, James, in the week, about a certain mission that tries to...
It tries to tug at the heartstrings, I think.
Well, there's two particular missions that, and people have been referencing them. There are two missions that try and tug at the heartstrings. One does it relatively well, which is the Finding Grandpa mission.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
The other one, because we're going to talk about this in code a little bit, but the pigeon mission was, in my opinion, fucking dreadful. Like, really embarrassing. Like, really, really, really embarrassing. And when I see people online going, that pigeon mission, I was in bits. I'm like, how? How did you not scream at the script? This could have been done so much better than this. Like, it was, I don't know, it was so bad. They used like different music, and the music is embarrassing.
You see, I don't even remember that. But the thing is the conclusion of that.
It's a huge part of it. Yeah,
I know, but the conclusion of it is the thing that I know you really don't like, and I agree with you.
So can we talk about it, and can we do a little spoiler warning? We won't mention characters, and we won't go into detail.
I don't think we should.
Really?
Yeah, because there's two of us who haven't played it yet either.
Yeah.
But it's not that important. It's a side mission. It's not a main mission.
I know, look, it's really simple. All it is that the thing David doesn't like about it is that they really, really explicitly tell you what the meaning of this mission is at the end. Yeah. And it's like, and it's way too, like, it is too much for that. Right. But then my point with this is I can understand why they did that, because it's within the tone of the rest of the game. Like, the rest of the game is like that as well. Like, it's on the nose. Everything is.
I don't agree with that.
Everything's on the nose in the game, David.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but there's being on the nose, and then there's just being embarrassing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think they ever master that, honestly. Like, throughout the entire game, it's like it. Honestly, it's like, that's why I wasn't surprised when it happens. And there's one thing they could have done with that ending. They could have just removed one part of that, and it would have been a bit less embarrassing, like the ending. But, yeah.
Different music. The ending, get rid of that. Get rid of that. The ending, get rid of that. It
would have been too subtle if they'd have done that. I really think.
No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have.
It would.
No, it would not have at all.
People would have been going around saying, "Oh, what happened there?" Then, like, seriously, definitely that's what would have happened.
No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have.
Okay,
honestly,
fine. Okay.
Please, Matt, play this. Can you play this before
I know already because
tomorrow?
you talked about it last time before the pod.
Oh, did we?
So I know what you're referring to anyway.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, no, fucking infuriating. It's so bad. But what a game. Really, really enjoyable game. If you got a PS5, play it. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that Harry doesn't want to play it.
Doesn't he?
Then is he supposed to?
Why wouldn't he?
Thing?
Yeah.
What's the certificate? I don't know. Maybe I'm exposing myself as a bad dad.
Well, no,
It's got the word crap in it.
Yeah.
It's got the word crap in it.
Has it got damn?
Probably.
Or hell?
But as someone who loves all the Marvel stuff, I thought he'd be well up for that alone.
Yeah.
He's gone off the Marvel stuff, and he doesn't like anything to do with Marvel now yet.
Oversaturated.
No, I think one of his friends has said that Marvel's shit. And now he's going,
Sure.
More recent stuff hasn't been as good, so maybe it's really hasn't.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
He has got a point, yeah.
That's gone downhill. What was funny the other day, so I'm not enough to get a PS5, but I'm getting pretty bad FOMO with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And the other day I was like, I'm going to go on the Steam Deck. I haven't looked at my Steam Deck in ages. I'm going to see what's on the store on the Steam Deck, because obviously you load up, the store on it, and it's the Steam store, but it's filtered to like stuff that's great on deck, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Spider-Man and Miles Morales are both like top of the charts at the moment.
Oh,
so
there's
obviously
a lot
PC
of
owners just been like, well, I want the new one, but I can't fucking have it.
I'm gonna do you a deal that I gave James Farley, a similar deal that I gave to James Farley. Someone come knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that Mr. Bell?
Yeah.
That's it.
What's up?
I've got this little suitcase here. It's PS5 disc version, copy of Spider-Man 2. You can have it. You give me your Quest 3.
No.
Really?
Because the Quest 3 is significantly different to everything else I have, whereas a PS5 adds 1 or 2 games to my life.
You can't play Walkback Mini Golf on it either. Well, you can with PSVR 2.
Well, you could have got another.
You've got to shell out another 500 quid.
You've got to shell out another 500 quid to play.
Well, no, because maybe. So, what was James's deal? Swapping his
James
PSVR.
was swapping his PSVR 2 for a Quest 3.
Yeah, hang on. So maybe
I don't know if I do that now, honestly. But go on.
No, you're thinking of a JRPG fetch quest line here, Matt. It's not gonna happen.
Like Sean swaps with David and then gets the PSVR from David from James.
Yeah. I give James my Quest 3 and he no.
Shit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta play the game, Sean. It's so good.
I just wish they'd give me a fucking date. If it's a year from now, then fine, but just let me know and then I can make an informed decision. Because if
will be a year.
If I cave and buy a PS5 and then they're like, haha, it's actually going to be out for Christmas. Well, fuck off.
They would never do that. They would never cannibalise their sales on PlayStation and put on PC.
I don't think it would cannibalise their sales.
No, but I think they would see it as cannibalising their sales. Like, I agree with you. I don't think anyone's going, well, I'll buy a PS5 and Spider-Man it. Well, actually, we're kind of talking about doing exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it will be within 12 months. That. No way.
If I knew how far away it was, I could make an informed decision either way. As it is, it's like, well, I could buy a PS5 and then... from what you've told me, from what I've seen, I don't think it'll be deck compatible.
Oh, right. Yeah. The clip that I sent you, I was so excited about that. I spent about 10 minutes trying to get that shot. And even then, it wasn't good enough. Like, I was angry that I didn't quite get it right. And then I sent it on WhatsApp, so it condensed it. This was a clip of Spider-Man walking through Times Square in a particular suit that I knew Sean would really like. And I was like, you've got to see this, man. It's fucking incredible. But there was a new game released this week, and
Was.
2 of our crew have it written down. I've not played it, but Matt and James, you've been playing Alan Wake 2, the second of the Alan Wake games that came out last week. Was it, or was it this week?
Yeah, it was last week, last Friday. It came
And
out.
everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I wonder how many games." Oh, it's probably 6s, maybe a couple of 7s and 8s, 10s across the board.
Yeah.
Is that
Well, that's
right?
what's been so nice. Like, I haven't played this, and I'm sorry, I will pass over to you in a sec. But what's been lovely is, my perception of the original, which I never played, was like a lot of Remedy stuff. Bit of a cult hit. It's got some problems, but some like the people who love it really fucking love it. And it was like, oh, that's nice. They're doing a sequel. Like that's cool, I guess. And for it to come out and everyone's like, oh, it's actually phenomenal. It's just really nice to see.
Yeah, so James, you streamed it on Friday.
We fucking hate it.
I've only played slightly more than James. James, you streamed for like 90 minutes. I'm in chapter 2, basically.
Oh, really?
We're like an
Okay.
hour and 50 in.
Mm-hmm.
Also.
Yeah, see, I streamed it on Friday night, and as Matt said, I only played it for about an hour and a half. So I think it was the first episode of it. And, I mean, it's difficult to know what to say at this stage because it looks absolutely incredible. Like, it really does. Especially, this is part where you get to a town, you're walking around, and it's just like this. I'm not saying like photorealism kind of thing, but it's getting in that sort of direction where it just looks wonderful, like really, really good. And I mean, initially, when I first started the game, I was groaning because they started talking about a mind palace kind of thing. And I hate that as a concept. I find that really irritating. I don't know why. I just find it really annoying.
Is it a reference to Control?
No, because
Isn't that what they called it? Mind Palace?
I think it's a well-established concept, isn't it? Have you ever seen the Sherlock?
Yeah, it's
clip?
the Sherlock stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. What's the Sherlock stuff?
Oh, mate, I'll send you afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, no, tell me.
Incredible.
Give me a brief description. What do you mean?
You have to see it to.
Right. So the Mind Palace is a way of memorizing stuff, right? Where you.
Yeah.
Darren Brown talks about this a lot, where you put things away and I'm with.
But it's like
there's a clip
visual
in
representation
Sherlock
of it,
where.
Yeah.
Why
Sherlock,
where they try to show him navigating his mind palace, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Because it's just bollocks.
I want to see this. What do you mean it's bollocks?
It's just the way it's presented. Probably because of the Sherlock stuff, which is like not very well done, I don't think, and a bit embarrassing.
But there's people in the comments like, "Oh my god, this is so good! This is like amazing! A really good way of visualizing it." I'm like, no,
it's not.
No,
it's
really
also
not
really deduction going on, which is the biggest problem with that. Which is the thing.
Yeah.
But then that's so. When I first, they don't call it the Mind Palace. They call it what do they call it, Matt? I've forgotten.
It's the mind something.
Yeah, it's not a palace though. It's like a smaller building.
It's not.
So that you're going in at this stage.
Mind hut.
Mind
Yeah,
house.
it is a mind hut actually, because it does appear to be a hut.
I think it's mind place.
Okay, it's the mind place or whatever. Yeah. So what happens here is that when you discover clues or there's like people of interest and stuff like that, you can press I'm playing on PS5, so you like press like the touchpad thing. And it takes you into this like sort of what does look like a sort of a lodge or something, where there's like on the wall you have you can like stick up Polaroid photographs and stuff to like link things between each other to try and figure out what's going on basically. And then you can also look at people that you've just met and then sort of think about questions that you would ask them and try and sort of interpret more about those people, which then gives you more information, so then you can like chat with them and unlock more parts of the story. And initially the reason I wasn't looking forward to it was I thought, is this going to be like really sort of like obscure kind of like puzzles and everything of trying to like link stuff together, but it's really not, and it's really streamlined and really well put together, where I was really quite enjoying like going through this filing cabinet and like picking then like trying to match the stuff with the right clues and everything, and I thought it was great. I want to play more, and I want to play. I mean, the reason I'm not going to play it anymore on stream, I think, is that I really think this is would be more fun to play alone, because it is supposed to be scary. And if when I'm playing on stream, I don't feel things are quite so scary.
You're on.
Exactly, you're on. You're entertaining. You're doing the whole thing, so it's like it doesn't really work. So I'm looking for
in a obviously quite a weird way. It's like, well, there's loads of other people here, so it's less
exactly.
scary.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, there is that to it. And there was a couple of bits in it that were like, oh, okay, that's like like stuff flashing up on the screen and things like that. And
Spooky.
yeah,
See, it really bothers me because, like obviously listening to other podcasts, reading reviews and stuff, there are so many things about this I think I would love, but I cannot do scary games, and I'm never going to play this, and that is upsetting to me because it sounds
It wasn't
amazing.
that bad. I mean, I'm 9 minutes in and there's nothing's really done anything yet.
Yeah,
so,
it's not supposed to be pure horror, right?
No.
Like, this isn't
It's,
a horror
survival
game.
horror aspects.
I mean, to be fair, like, because I always said, like, Stranger Things, right? I never went beyond the first series, but I watched the first series, and everyone's like, "Oh, but isn't it scary? Can't you do that? I thought you couldn't do scary things." And I'm like, "No, but it's just sort of good enough
Well, it's not
that
scary,
I can push through it."
Yeah. So that's how I felt with The Last of Us. Like, I don't like scary games at all. But The Last of Us was fine because it was, I don't know, that was more thriller than horror. It's like what I said to Joe when we watched
Man's
the TV
the real
show.
monster, Dave.
Yeah. I said, when we talk about the TV show, I said, yeah, it's nothing going to be like, there are scary moments in it, but like, it's definitely not like all about horror. Like, there are huge portions where it's not even touching horror at all, really. So yeah, I got the impression that Alan Wake was always on that side of the fence rather than pure horror. But I have seen some of your streams, James, and it is pretty horrible.
Yeah. There's bits in it that are not so nice, particularly towards the end of the first episode. But
So just
I
before we
was
go
a
into
friend of
Poppy-
mine that was sorry, go on.
No, I was going to go into a different subject. What was you going to
Sorry,
say?
just quickly. Yeah, it's a friend of mine that was playing it that just messaged me, and they were like, "I've just been given a mission objective, which is basically go and see what's in the basement." So I've turned it off for the night. I'm not.
Yeah. So, James, have you played the previous Alan Wake games?
I did, but again, this was years and years ago. So I played them on Xbox 360, and I even bought like American Nightmare, which came out later, which was like a sort of a side.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
But never got around to playing it. Still own it, but yeah, I haven't got around to it.
Because I gather this like it's not a requirement, but it rewards like however knowledgeable you are about Remedy games in general. Because there's even Max Payne stuff in this,
Yes,
apparently,
I think
or
so.
allusions to it.
Well, see, that's the other thing that's weird, like when you're playing it, because there's loads of the actors have been in all the other games as well. Like people were pointing out
Right.
on my stream,
Yeah.
it's like, that's the guy from Quantum Break.
Yeah,
like,
Condor, I recognised him, yeah.
he's been relegated in this game to a more minor role, I would say.
And it's all,
Yeah.
and it's not just we liked these actors so we reuse them, is it? Like it's done in a sort of meta way.
Yeah, because there's
That's
a whole
my
lot of
understanding.
Remedy. I should know because I've watched like a bunch of recaps on Alan Wake because I hadn't played the previous games. But there is like it's not Remedy Cinematic Universe, but there is like a Remedy universe. Of
Well, they are all
sorts.
connected.
The through line.
Controls
Yeah,
are
yeah.
connected as well
Yeah,
in like to this
sort of-
and
Yes.
And then there was some Control DLC called AWE, which is was it like something world altering events is like a part of like Control, but then AWE is it another world event or something? But other people are saying, oh, actually,
Alan
it's the
Wake event.
Well, no, it's the Alan Wake expansion, and so that also links in with someone like the fan theories as well. But
Can I just say, right? Can I just say about Remedy? There is part of me that just kind of thinks, "Oh, you think you're brilliant." Like, there's always been that.
They
always...
kind of are, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I
Like-
know, but then I played Control and I thought this is all right. You know, I didn't love it as well. But then I see them talk about their own game, and it's kind of like, this is the greatest experience anyone will ever have. And I was kind of, come on.
The problem with Control was that the actual playing of it didn't really match up with the ideas
it
and the
wasn't quite as great.
creativity. of the
Yeah.
game.
I mean, I really loved Control. There was
Well,
some
so did
I
I,
remember the bit
but-
towards the end.
the bit at the end is bullshit.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
The bit at the end kind of soured me a bit, but I still love the vibe. I love the storytelling. I love the mysteries and the characters. And just watching the recap of everything leading up to Alan Wake 2, I'm like, man, I would have really enjoyed playing the previous Alan Wake games because this all sounds like extremely up my street.
I mean, especially, the thing that I'm enjoying the most about this so far is like the location, because it's that sort of Pacific Northwest thing and it's Twin Peaks, it's X-Files, it's all that kind of stuff, and it feels suitably spooky because of that, I guess.
Yeah, so again, I'm less than 2 hours in, but I'm still just playing as Saga Anderson, who's like this cop. So the first 90 minutes or 2 hours that I've played, it's more like a detective game than survival horror or a horror game. I know you play as Saga, and then I believe it switches to you playing as Alan, but I haven't actually got to that bit yet. But so far, I really enjoyed the fact that I go to a crime scene to look at the clues, and as James says, when you pick up clues and find clues, then you get to go to the mine place and then fit them on this big board to kind of like piece the story together. And you can use your intuition if you meet other people in the world to try and discern more about their motives or what they're thinking, to try and ascertain more clues and move the story forward. But I mean, again, like just having watched the recaps, I'm like, man, there's so many like different layers to this and meanings and all sorts. So I'm really excited to play more of this just to see where it goes, really.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we'll have more to talk about next week with Alan Wake 2, but it sounds promising already. I'm interested because a lot of people have said, though, this game does shit that games have never done. I'm interested to hear about that. Because I'm
always
probably not
suspicious when people say that, because people said that would be Control as well, and I don't think it did.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
I've been sent a clip of a later mission because, I was like, I'm never going to play it. It's fine. I am now thinking maybe I should. But anyway.
Really?
So they were like, "Oh, can I just show you this one mission that apparently everyone's saying like, oh, can't wait till you get to this bit," but without giving the name of the mission because that would spoil it. And from the clip they sent me, it was absolutely just fucking bizarre. I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing.
I was thinking, like, I bought this because I wanted to play it, but then I'm like, an hour, 90 minutes into this, I took loads of Spider-Man to play. It's like I should probably stop this and go back to Spider-Man, get that done, and come back to this. But I'm eager to play this. It's like, man, it's just.
You should commit to one. Like, if I were you, I'd do Alan Wake 2 and just finish it and then go back to Spider-Man.
And I think it's fair to say that this is more your sort of thing, Matt. I think that's perfectly fine to stick with this.
But then Spider-Man's incredible too, so.
Yeah.
Matt, what is your first nomination for Game of the Year this year? Oh, the first 20 minutes of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, that's one game I haven't yet bought.
Does some incredible things.
20 minutes.
Well, I think that's going to be my Portal game when I get my PlayStation Portal.
I cancelled my Portal order.
Who the fuck?
Yeah.
Who on earth decided to bring out Spider-Man 2 before the port? I would have loved to have been able to play it on this thing. What a ridiculous decision. Honestly, I'm in two minds as to whether to continue with that pre-order or not.
It's not that I don't want it, because I know I'll get loads of use out of it, and I'll play a lot more of these games, but I just I've got other things I need to pay for, so that's it.
I'm definitely going to get, because I want to play Baldur's Gate on it. That's what I'm going to be doing on that as well.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking is going to push me to play that. And also I need to finish Jedi Survivor as well. God, we're really heading
I still
towards...
need to take that off.
Yeah, we're heading towards GOTY season in a big way, aren't we? It's going to creep up. Gonna creep up. I've got
a lot of homework to do between now and late December.
And because there's more stuff coming out as well.
That's the problem. I already had like a full card, and then September and October have happened. And then it's just like, okay.
Yeah, but you do know that when we get round to our fourth picks each, we're going to be going, I don't even think I've played anything else. Let's get to questions. Sean Bell.
If you want to send a question, go to TCG. I've done that joke before, haven't I? It doesn't work. TCGS.co/Dear TCGS. Sensible Steve says, question. As I hurtle ever closer to my 50th and become more and more aware of my own mortality, I find myself with less and less time to game as I prioritise more time for the gym, good sleep and shit like that, as I now focus more on not dying. Is there something you can see pulling you away from gaming in the future?
See, I'm at the absolute opposite. I'm just thinking now, I want to play as much as I can. Because
before I die next week.
Because that's going to happen. So I don't want to,
I was going to say, absolutely, I could see myself pulling away from gaming in the future. I can see it happening. Yeah. I mean, it's happened in my life a few times where I've had dips or actually just gone off of gaming for a little bit. I don't think it's anything that you feel. I don't know. Like, I would rather sit and play a game than watch TV or watch a film. Right, that's just genuinely what I prefer doing. I love films, I love watching television, but if I get the chance, I'll be playing a game rather than doing that. I think the only thing that might stop me from pulling away from gaming a bit is that so much of my social life is done on video games. Yeah, like playing Rocket League and EAFC and games with my friends, like that's my social scene. And if that changes, and maybe it should at some point, maybe I should get friends that live closer than you lot. But I don't know. I'm surely this stuff happens. I can't be this intense about video games my whole life. That's not going to be a thing, right?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Because part of me thinks like, oh yeah, but when Isaac's older, I'll start reclaiming loads of free time, and then that's more time to play games. Whereas actually, what I've actually got enough time to play games. What I miss is being able to just go out and do shit, even if it's just a fucking cinema or whatever. Like that stuff is more compromised than stuff you can just do sat at home. So maybe I'll be more eager to do that, right?
But I should also say that I don't look at the time that I've spent on gaming over the past 10, 15 years and think any of it's been wasted. Like, apart from, maybe there's a couple of games I should have skipped, but really, like, I don't look at the time that I spend gaming as a bad thing, or that I'm wasting time or anything like that. Like, I love playing video games, and that's what I enjoy doing. So that's I find that beneficial in so many ways in my life that it's I don't regret that.
I don't ever feel like even when I've played games that I've not particularly enjoyed like massively, I don't ever feel, I don't know, I always feel like I've got something out of it, which has helped distract me from the daily life of...
Yeah, same with Matt. Matt's got loads of like Microsoft points, isn't it? He's got that keyboard in there.
There's
loads out of gaming.
Loads of Microsoft points and barely any thinking about death. So it all works out.
Well, it's just less time. Like if I want to do loads of gym or running, then that means less time doing games. Or if I want to do, I feel like it's impossible to fit everything in I want to do. And I don't know. So that just means that's why I basically feel like I've barely played any games this year, or just haven't found the time to finish it. If I want to sleep better, if I want to do this or more gym or more running and more that, like something has to go. And so it means I'm compromising on everything. If I just ditch loads of stuff, then I'd be able to hammer every single game for, I don't know, it's frustrating at the moment. I'm not quite sure what the trouble is, but there's lots of things to do and not enough time to do them.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I can't run to the end of my road without being sick. So,
that doesn't make me feel any better.
You do live on the M25 though, Sean. So, little gag there, even though you live up north, it's quite there's a little gag about it. It's the first motorway that
it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there are loads of things, this football stuff that I've been getting into, the Little League stuff, it's time consuming, but, and it's really fun, it's really rewarding and all that, but you cannot beat what I've been through with Spider-Man this past week. It's nothing going to replace that shit. Yeah. Well, one of the kids looked up to me and said, "You are the greatest football coach I have ever had." Yeah, whatever. But that bit in Spider-Man was so much, it made me feel so much better than those words.
Because I've been thinking about so I recently rewatched, this is something my dad linked me to ages ago. So I think he's a Dutch photographer and filmmaker called Martin Doulaard. And he did a series. Well, he basically cycled from Vancouver down to Patagonia. So basically the entire north to south of North America down through South America. He cycled it. It took him 2 years. Yeah. And he did videos and photos the entire way. And there's a 4-part documentary on YouTube, which I would recommend to anyone. It's stunning. And it's just I don't want to do that. But also part of me is it will be really nice to one day just to be able to be I can go out and take pictures and I don't have to be home by a certain time, or do you know what I mean? There's no way I could start to do something like that because especially in the UK, to get anywhere particularly scenic, you're looking at a day of travel at least to even get there. Never mind,
not for me. What are you talking about? Sutton High Street, mate. Beautiful.
Do you want to when you places in the north? What are you talking about?
I don't know, man. When you look at some of the places in America, it's like a fucking alien planet.
Well,
when we landed in the Grand Canyon, I know it's it's cliche or whatever. Fuck me, when you're standing there, you're like, holy shit, I do feel like I've just landed on another planet completely. And then one of the American passengers complained about the lunch, so it was kind of like, no, we're on Earth.
More back
100%.
Right.
Yeah, next question. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Colosseums of the Romans, your dad chat, game discussions, and cutting-edge VR tech talk, is what brings me back week after week. But it's your behind-the-scenes podcast insights that fascinate me. Last week, for instance, I learned that Reaper is Sean's digital audio workstation of choice and that James is capable of producing completely flat waveforms when he speaks. Please indulge my curiosity and tell me, apart from leather chair farts, what is it that you are attentive to when you listen back to an episode as you edit it?
Oh, we got a story about this. I fucked up last week.
Oh yeah.
So on GarageBand, this is geeky chat. Sorry if it's if you don't give a shit. Most of you won't. On GarageBand, there's a control panel at the bottom of the program, which includes a equalizer, and on that equalizer, there's a dial called low cut, which cuts out the low frequencies of the audio. And I don't know how, but that was turned right up on my audio. And the moment I heard Matt edited the pod, and the moment I heard it, I was like, I sound dreadful. Like the tone is just awful. This whole I didn't know that you edited in Audacity, Matt. And
that is insane, Matt.
I mean, we've all got our own ways, but that is fucking madness, man. Why you've got GarageBand?
No, I'm on PC here, so I record and edit in Audacity.
PC. Right. Oh, of course, yeah, you use your PC rather than... Oh, right.
Honestly, Reaper is so good, and it's cheap. It's like 40 quid or something.
I could. It's a lot to change. I've been doing this since 2007.
Matt
I'm going to
change
change now.
Project file, which is just set up to drag and drop everything in, and you're away.
Yeah, maybe.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, Sean.
I've been doing this since 2007. I don't really want to have to change it. I probably should. I know I should do, because this is not the most efficient use of my time either.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? This is so I know Matt and James very well. We've been best mates for like fucking ages, right? Like for a ridiculous amount of times. Sean, less so. So James has got a watch, and he got given a watch, right? And it's a really nice watch, but it's a quartz watch, and it needs the battery replaced. And because it's got a metal bracelet, he needs it sized for his wrist. And it's a 2-minute job. You go into any fucking
it's a 2-minute job in the UK. Fine. It's like, for fuck's sake. You see, you have never lived in another country, and you have no idea the level of difficulties there can be when you're trying to do these things.
Okay,
seriously.
Fine. Right? No, okay. But you last week said to us, I found an English-speaking jeweler's.
It's true, that is true.
Nearby.
Yes.
I'm going to pop over there at the weekend, right? So I text Sean privately and went,
of course you did. Yeah. Of course you did.
And then today I said, did you get your watch sorted, James?
Of course not.
No.
I didn't want to go out this weekend.
Do you know what's beautiful? James, I know you so well. And you hate the fact that I know you this well. That's what I love about you. You hate it that I'm bang on every time I talk about you. You hate it.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Also, sorry, something's just hit me, and this is completely unrelated. Why wasn't the delay to the new Star Wars game in the news? Is it because it's not been confirmed?
Yeah. What?
That's huge for the show.
Yeah, it was delayed, wasn't it? It was delayed until, is it back end of next year?
Well, it's not been confirmed yet, is it?
No.
That's going to be interesting. That whole
so the rumours that Outlaws has been delayed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be fun. Sorry, but what were we talking about?
Troubled development, Matt. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so I think they want to ensure it's as good as it can possibly be, so...
yeah.
That's
I heard
great.
back my audio last week, so I do notice the difference in tone. Like I can tell that I can 100% tell the difference between a Sean edit and a Matt edit. Doesn't necessarily means one's better than the other. But
I was going to say I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know.
You can tell like tonally everything. But for me, I'm more listening to the jokes that we're all making and seeing what works and what doesn't. Because there are times where I was like, David, you need to stop swearing. David, you need to shut up. It's only me. Like, I'm not judging you guys while I'm listening back. I'm literally going, no, that didn't work. I need to stop doing that. I won't do that again. I won't do this again. I need to do more of that. It's tiresome. Like, criticizing yourself constantly.
I'm more listening for that stuff rather than technical stuff. I think Matt's definitely more attentive in terms of like moving stuff around or deleting bits if we're just like all talking over each other and like a joke gets missed or something.
Hell yeah.
I will do that sometimes, but not as much, I don't think. Which is just laziness. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It's just because I'll tend to like put it on like and then sort of carry on sort of half doing my actual job and then just sort of listen to it. Which like, and I mean, it's always a nice feeling when you put it on because you are doing the edit and then 20 minutes in, you just like, this is like I'm just listening to it and I'm enjoying it, which is arrogant as fuck, but there it is. It's just a nice feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I would legitimately listen to this were I not on it. Which is a low bar, but there you go.
James, when you listen back, what sort of stuff are you listening out for? What's on your mind when you're listening back?
Yeah.
It depends. If I've been on the show, then
you don't listen back.
I don't listen
Why
back.
don't you just say it straight? Yeah, exactly. Never listen back. It's fine.
It's because it's embarrassing. I don't like listening back because I don't like listening to myself, and I just think it's just not. Yeah, it's not great to do that. Okay. So occasionally, when there's been a really good bit that I've really enjoyed, I do sometimes play those bits back and chuckle to myself.
Right.
So I feel like it's important to listen back to the bits you weren't sure about.
Definitely.
Because then you either
100%.
come away thinking, better. Well, actually, that was nowhere near as bad as I thought, or you've got some notes for yourself about what to not do.
I came away from last week's recording saying I fucking hated that. I hated it.
And
then I listened back to it and I went, oh no, that was really good. That was funny.
I don't want to listen back to myself and then depress myself even more about all
James,
the things I've got to change.
Right, okay.
That's how you get better. That's how we all get better.
Dave's a dick or whatever. You're brilliant on the show. Shut up. And also, even that sounded aggressive. And also, there is nothing better. Like when we're recording one of these podcasts, there's nothing better than making you laugh uncontrollably. That is my peak. That is when I know that I've done all right.
It's a KPI.
When you're sitting there gasping for air. That's the one. That's probably it, isn't it? For that one.
Ben. So it's a rare Sunday recording, and as all three regular hosts live in England, a roast dinner is tradition. What is your favourite part of the meal?
Meat.
The meat. Definitely.
Why would it be anything else?
I think roast potatoes. I mean, that's the first thing I think about.
Really? I was going to say, if the Yorkies are exceptional, that can sometimes...
Well, no, obviously good ones. Yeah, not...
Yeah.
Joe does the big pan one, Yorkshire pudding. Oh, it's that's fucking good. Glorious. Yeah, my mum taught her to do it. It's like an inch and a half thick. You know, at the base. Oh, it's so good, man. Like, that shit is so good. She does the best roast as well. Meat. What's top meat? Go on.
Lamb.
What's top meat?
Top
meat.
That's
a good shout, but I don't have it enough.
Yeah, like...
I never do I, but that's when you do, and it's like, oh, yeah, I forget how good this is. Like, if you like slow cook
even then, if I had the option, I don't know, man.
No, like, lamb in the slow cooker.
Shin, mate.
Yeah. It is good.
So I remember one time I had a roast at a pub, and I went for the lamb shin, and they brought all the food out except mine, and the way it was like, really sorry, the lamb's just resting, and I was like, absolutely fine, mate. just made me look forward to it a bit more. So
in tight. I think for me it's between pork or beef. I fucking love like I would never have picked pork. But then recently, I'm like, oh my god, that shit tastes so good.
You're a pig, man.
But beef, man, I think that's probably the one, isn't it? Probably the one. Probably the worst was when I was a kid, and it was like, we got roast this weekend. Oh yeah, we got roast tonight. Yeah, what roast? Chicken. Oh, fuck off.
You can do chicken well though.
Fucking waste. I just got KFC. I had chicken 2 nights ago.
When we were little, we used to get these. And I don't know if this was just a poverty thing or just everything was worse in the early 90s thing.
Roast spam. Roast corned beef.
Brentos.
I think they're supposed to be like little pork. Like little pork cutlets or whatever. And they were just like fucking plastic. They were just like solid. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have that. I was talking to someone at work about corned beef before. What's corned beef? I'm like, I don't even really know what it was. It was like this. It was like
Mass.
sawdust in a sandwich.
Come on, corned beef and mash, lovely.
No, it fucking
I
wasn't.
don't know.
Well, no,
And you never ate it.
Eh?
You'd never have corned beef and
course we did. We had loads of that.
They used to serve it in Hogwarts all the time, David. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what you gave your servants.
But it's got to be proper potato, like not like smash or anything like that, because that stuff's horrible.
Yeah, that smash was weird. It was like powder.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, fuck that.
But they had funny robots in the advert.
They did have the adverts were good. You got to admit that, James.
No.
Yeah, admit that at least.
Nathan. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Nathan says, I'm 44. Oh, God, sorry. You still,
Sorry, before you
still
move
on
on,
roast.
I would like to show you, James, at some point. The LG, you still use your LG TV, right, Matt?
I'm using it right now.
The advertising on that has now become the worst thing I've ever seen on an electrical device. It is insane. I've got to show you, James. You turn your TV on in the morning, it is full screen ads for just shit. And you have to back out of it to get to the TV screen now.
What the fuck?
Can you really?
Yeah, you can,
switch it
because
off?
I had an LG TV. Like, I don't
but
have it
these
anymore.
are the
but
new
then...
ones, James.
No, this
These
was a smart
are
TV. The one I had was a smart TV, and you can opt
Right,
out of
okay.
all of that, like if you want to.
I've got to look at that then, because at the moment I'm turning it on and it is insane.
It's like the Xbox
I don't see
dashboard.
that, but then I just I don't have TV. This isn't connected to like a TV provider. I just put it on. It's either PC or console.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still connected to the internet, isn't it?
Yeah, but I haven't
that's
seen the
it.
full screen ad. I just turn it on. It automatically
it's
goes
not
to
full
PC.
screen. It's got two tiles on the screen. I'll send you a video, and pretty much all of them are ads. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? This is madness.
I mean, I turn it on. I instantly press and change HDMI to either PC or console, so I just don't see that stuff.
Okay, I've
You want to get yourself
got
a
to
high
take a
sense
video.
telly, mate.
You want to get yourself a Soundbeat TV.
All right, okay, let's go.
Nathan says, I'm 44 and I've just realised I don't know if birds fart or not, so I'll ask the first people I thought of. Do birds fart?
No,
Of
they
course
don't.
they
don't,
fart.
do they?
How do you think,
Isn't that
how do you
why
think
they
they
don't
fucking
fart?
fly?
They don't fart.
How do
Yeah,
you
because
think
isn't that
they
why you
fly?
can kill them with soluble, like aspirin or whatever, because it fizzes up in the stomach and they've no way to pass
Right.
it.
They don't fart.
What's that based on?
They do
don't
fart.
James
They
knows.
don't. Do you want me to read what it? I looked this up. It says
Oh,
go on.
God,
it says
all right,
birds
trying to
don't
have some
fart.
fun.
They lack the stomach bacteria that builds up gas in their intestines, so they don't.
Okay, brilliant. What fucking great. What a great, what
So
a
they actually
shit
don't need
answer
to
to that
fart,
question.
is
Well
the-
done, James. You destroyed that bit.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Nathan
Well
could have
done.
googled it.
Go on. It's,
He didn't
yeah.
want the answer. He
Well, he
wanted
should
a
have done
funny.
Yeah, he wanted a bit of flavour, a bit of entertainment.
Should have googled
Yeah.
it.
Do you go to pub quizzes and go, well, I know all the answers, because hold on, I'll just write them down
No,
and
because
Google
I
there
hate
the
pub
answers.
quizzes. That's why.
We're
But
done.
go on.
I bet, oh yeah, I'm
What?
sure you do.
Fucking
Why do you hate
them.
pub quizzes?
Because it's fucking tedious, isn't it? Trivia. God.
Wow.
I mean, I'm with you.
I used to love a pub quiz.
I mean, it's
What's your pub
it's not
quiz
really
team
important
name?
whether you're good at it or not. It's just a laugh.
Dr. Wankenstein.
Unbelievable. Okay, go on then.
Last one. Pond Skater says the console wars are finally over. TCGS.Corp had enough of the squabbling and bought out the big three of Microsoft, Nintendo and Sony, who must now work together to make the ultimate gaming console. As the board of directors, it's up to you to decide what role each of the new acquisitions must take on. So who will design the console, who will manufacture the console, and who will create the first-party
This is
games?
so easy. Actually, no, the last one, maybe not.
I don't know.
Well, who designed it?
Go on.
Actually, yeah, no, it is.
Design
Yeah,
it would be Nintendo.
Yep.
Manufacturer would be Sony.
Either Sony or
okay.
Microsoft. I think.
I was going to go Microsoft.
Why would Microsoft with all the red ring of death?
No, but their supply
Yeah,
chain
ages
would be
ago,
better.
We've learned.
They're
got-
more readily
Yeah, yeah.
available than the PS5 was.
Yeah, they got better supply
Yeah.
chain, clearly.
That's only because no one's buying the fucking things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Design the console, Nintendo, though, really.
Yeah, because I wanted it looking a bit different.
Yeah, you might get something weird.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to give that role to Sony, are you? Like, you're never going to do that.
No.
And if you go
I think-
Microsoft, it's just
No,
going to be
it
a
would
standard.
never be Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be a
black
block.
box, fine.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. Just a black box. Like,
No,
I
I
want
wanted
it
a
to
bit-
look
I wanted a
different,
bit
but we're all
exciting.
grown up now, Matt. Do you know what I mean?
I
Having
wanted a
that
little
in
bit
front of
exciting.
you.
Yeah, Nintendo designing, manufacturing, let's
Nah.
go.
Xbox.
Microsoft. Yeah.
Xbox. Who will create first-party games? Nintendo.
Hmm.
Nintendo or Sony for sure, yeah. Not Microsoft because they don't make
I
any.
don't think you could say Sony over Nintendo, though, surely. Like,
Depends
I
what you're
fucking
after,
love
doesn't
Sony
it?
games at the moment. I
Yeah.
do love Sony games at the moment, but they're not a patch on Nintendo's first party stuff.
I mean, they're just totally different. They're totally different, aren't they? I mean, Nintendo would never do
but
anything.
Nintendo are more
I think-
consistently incredible.
In
than
terms of
Sony
breadth
are.
of experience, I go with Nintendo. Like for the first
Yeah,
party
and-
stuff.
And heritage history, yeah, a lot, yeah.
They're unbelievable, the stuff that they've got in their locker. It's insane. Yeah, I love Sony, but a lot of their games are the same. Oh, is that it for questions
Yes.
this week? Good. Socials, Matt. Let's wrap
Yes,
this bad boy up.
Thursday night, Sean, you give me streams from Starship Titanic, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Because even though it was bad, I feel like I need to see it through with the help of a walkthrough. So,
Talking about seeing it through to the end, Friday night, James is definitely going to stream the end of Star Trek, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, even though it is bad, I'm still going to.
How are you not streaming that game you said you were going to
I'm
stream
going
last
to,
week?
but no, I will do. It's just, but that requires a lot more setup than me just plugging in my PS5. So yeah,
I'd love to know anyone
Take
listening
the
to
easy
this. Okay, I feel like
how
sometimes
many?
we
Hang on,
do.
wait. Dave, how many games are you streaming at the moment?
don't want to stream.
Well,
I'm not very
exactly,
good
but
at
then why are you
streaming.
slagging me off just because I haven't got around to setting up something that you want me to do?
Because you do nothing else.
Go on.
Yeah, so
Sometimes, sorry, just quickly, I would love to know, anyone listening to this, sometimes we start a streaming series, or I start a streaming series and then abandon them. Does anyone get to like part 7 and then be like, oh fuck, there's no end? Bollocks, this is rubbish. Like, should I give a shit about whether or not I finish
can
something
you
on a streaming
the
series?
feedback form. Go onto the feedback form and let us
I
know.
genuinely want to know.
TCGS.co.
Sure, they wanna see it to its
/dears
conclusion.
TCGS.
But do they just want to be entertained for a bit and like, oh, well, yeah, to be fair, this was sort of running out of steam, probably should play something
Matt,
else.
you just want those playlists to be like proper, don't you?
Well, this is it.
As in,
Yeah.
like, these are complete playlists.
yeah, without a finale, it's kind of annoying, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so they're both streaming on twitch.tv/TCGSco. Sean's Thursday at 9, James is Friday at 9. If you miss them live, you can search TCGS on YouTube and watch the VOD after the fact. If you have Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, connect your accounts. Now you got something called Twitch Prime Gaming. With that, you get one free sub. Why not go over to our channel, twitch.tv/TCGSco, and give us your free monthly sub. We really love that. We're on patreon.com/TCGS. If you want to support what we're doing, listen to monthly exclusive bonus podcasts, our talks over from this month as well, which is brilliant, and albeit full now, so whatever you want. And the website is tcgs.co for everything else. Links to our amazing Discord, socials, store, you name it.
We will catch you next week, hopefully as award winners.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I can't wait to see you all.
Yeah, man, it's going to be awesome.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to Matt, James, and Sean then, and not the
Not the listeners.
Not the
Unless, I mean,
listeners.
there was nothing to stop the listeners buying tickets. I don't think any of them did, though. No one's come forward.
No,
and
hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Why did you say that now? Oh, it's too late now. No,
It's
it's
all
not too late. It's
sorted
not too late.
Yeah, could you imagine that if it was all TCGS listeners in there?
Yeah, and then we lose.
And then we lose. Everyone starts going like bottling the
It's a
stage.
riot. Yeah.
We'll catch you
Like Daphne and
next
Celeste.
week. Thanks for living it. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.